Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Outs here, and we have a preview today for a Phoenix Suns game at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We will face the Phoenix Suns on their second day of a back-to-back. We did not play yesterday, of course. They did. They played in Chicago against the Bulls, and all three of their main guys got 20 points, and they won, beating the Bulls and snapping a losing streak. Before that, the Suns had lost 8 out of their last 10. And now they're like 3-8 for their last 11. So, yeah, the Suns have not been playing well recently, but they got something together right yesterday to rise up and be able to beat the Bulls in Chicago last night. And it was a balanced attack between Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, all putting in and chipping in 20 points. So, yeah, it was interesting. I was thinking, I wonder if they're going to win this game. Well, they did. It's good because in some ways they're satiated to win by beating the Bulls last night, and maybe it'll be a poor effort today, and the Raptors can get a win over the Suns here in Toronto today. So, yeah, let's go look at the latest lineup news and the ref report real quick. You know that's what we're going to do next. Let's go. All right, first of all, the Raptors have a very similar injury report to the last time we did a game on Friday against Miami. PJ Tucker is not with the team. He won't be with the team. He ain't going to be there. I don't know why he's still listed on here. I guess technically they got to do it while he's still technically a Raptor. Jakob Poeltl is questionable today. He is not out for sure, guys. There is a chance Jakob will play today. So he is not ruled out. He is questionable. Now, it may be that he's not going to play for sure, but it's up in the air. I say it's 50-50 right now that Poeltl will return to the lineup. Of course, on the other side, they're playing Nick Richards at center, who's not totally a full center in some ways. So we might be able to get away with not having Jakob again and still win tonight. But, of course, it's always easier when the big Austrian's in the lineup, and he is so crucial to helping us get that W. So it's a 50-50, I think, with Jakob. Questionable. Not out yet. Shamshe is out due to his partial proximal MCL tear, but he seems like he's getting around okay. We don't see him on any walk-in apparatus like crutches or a cane or something like that. I don't even know if he has anything around his leg. He probably does underneath the clothing, but he's showing up in street clothes and being at the Raptors game. And, well, he's not going to be able to play for the rest of the year until Summer League. At least he can be around the big team and soak up a lot of the good information, sitting with the pros on the team and hanging out with them and just being around the Raptors. Brandon Ingram is remaining to be out with no target date for making his Raptors debut, but the veteran forward isn't projected to play for at least a month, is what they're saying on here. So that's the Raptors injury report right there. On the other side, the Phoenix Suns have one person listed, and it's the recently acquired Cody Martin from the Charlotte Hornets. He is out right now. There's no update on the return for him. He has a sports hernia, and he is out for today's game. So who are the Suns? This will be the first time we see the Suns this year. We will go to Phoenix next month and be in Phoenix to play them on their home court when we go on our last West Coast road trip, when we hit a couple teams like them and the Golden State Warriors. So, yeah, they are Devin Booker, Bradley Beal in the backcourt with Royce O'Neal, Kevin Durant at forward, and Nick Richards at center. So it's a very power-packed kind of lineup with different guys that you got to worry about. In the practice interviews yesterday, they were asking Emmanuel about, what do you do with the Suns? What do you do? And he said, well, yeah, we're more worried about what we're going to do. But, yes, they have some players that you have to be especially on top of defensively, because they can be real threats and stuff like that. But Emmanuel said, no, we're more worried about what we're going to do to them than what they're going to do to us, is what he's been saying. Off the bench, this is who the Suns have on their depth chart. Tyus Jones, Grayson Allen, Bol Bol, Mason Plumlee. Yeah, this is an unlikable team to a degree. Bradley Beal, Mason Plumlee, and Grayson Allen all on the same team. Oh, yeah, you're a real popular team, aren't you? Ty Washington Jr., Ryan Dunn, the fantastic rookie, defensive two-way rookie. They had a great Rising Stars Challenge. Monte Morris, Damian Lee, Oso Ighodaro. They got Misic in the deal from Charlotte. So that guard, the foreign guard, that was playing for the Charlotte Hornets, the veteran, Misic, is now a Phoenix Sun, so he'll be here today with them. So that's basically their lineup. It's a very interesting group, and it's weird, man. Well, we'll have to see. Are the Suns going to be organized and together today? They were yesterday, and they were able to beat the Chicago Bulls. The referee report is coming at you right now. First of all, in the replay center, we got Trey Maddox, Justin Van Dyne, Jonathan Sterling, and Robert Hussey at the replay center tonight. And our crew is quite good. It's actually a much better crew than the Miami game the other night. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, Meatloaf. That's right. Tyler Ford is our crew chief today. We love Tyler Ford. He's a very trustworthy crew chief, and he has been very nice to the Raptors in his history in the 10 years he's been in the league now. Tyler Ford is number 39 out of Lima, Ohio, in 10 years. Favorite TV show is Yellowstone. Remember the Titans, his favorite movie. He listens to Old Dominion. He likes the book, The Power of a Positive Team. So he's going to like our team. Like his favorite book is The Power of a Positive Team. Well, come and see what Darko's doing, Tyler Ford. And you'll be like, I like this Raptors team. They're positive and they play like a team. That's my favorite book, The Power of a Positive Team. So, in some ways, the reps do reward teamwork and hustle and playing basketball ethically in the right way. And I'm just saying that in some way, the Darko way is an ethical way. And referees may really respect that sometimes with their calls, just so y'all know. His favorite meal is steak. He likes to watch Netflix. He wants to go to Ireland, and he would love to play golf at Augusta National. Yeah, Tyler Ford, the Ohio native, served as the assistant director of intramural sports at Purdue University from 2009 to 2015. And Ford holds both bachelor's and master's degrees in sports administration from Ball State University. You know, went to Ball State. Yeah, that guy who used to do the late night show, David Letterman. That's right. Alumni of Ball State, Tyler Ford, and David Letterman. That's right. He enjoys playing golf in his free time. We love you, Tyler Ford, and I'm so happy you're going to be here with us today. He's the best ref for the Raptors today. We have a record of 1-2 this season when he's refed. We did win the last game he refereed for us. We win 57% of our games when Tyler Ford is present. And meanwhile, the Suns only win 51% of their games. So the split is 57-51 for the Raptors with the crew chief, Tyler Ford. The second ref is the problem ref today. Number 28 out of Syria, number 7th season, Musa Dagher is the second ref. His favorite TV show is America's Got Talent. He likes the movie Coach Carter. He listens to Drake. I know it used to be a good thing, but now it's a little questionable. Favorite book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. His favorite meal is sushi. He likes YouTube. So, man, check out the Raptor Freak channel, Musa Dagher, on YouTube, my guy. He most like to visit Thailand. His bucket list is to explore Europe with his wife. He doesn't want to explore Europe without his wife. That's good. That's good. Hidden talent, playing the piano, playing the ivories, just like old Nick Nurse. So Musa Dagher's playing piano with his life, just so y'all know. As a native of Syria, Musa moved to the United States in 2006 at the age of 15. He is a former owner of the Brewberry Cafe in Anaheim, California. And Dagher enjoys playing the piano, playing pickleball, traveling, and spending time with his family. There you go. Musa is the worst ref for us today. Statistically, way down at the bottom of the ref report list, we've won 1 game this year and lost 2 games with him. So the same record as Tyler Ford for the season. But, man, the historic record with Musa is bad. We win 39% of our games in the career of Musa Dagher being present. And meanwhile, the Suns win 39 also. It's 38.5 versus 39.1, favoring the Suns. So 38.5 to 39.1. Very, very slim margin, not by much. You round it up and they're the same, but it really is 38.5, 39.1 for the Suns with Musa Dagher today. Yeah, all right. The last ref is our guy from Edmonton. The Canadian ref, Matt Kallio, will be the third ref for the crew today. 53 in his 3rd season out of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. His favorite TV show is Game of Thrones. He likes the movie Good Will Hunting. He listens to Eric Clapton. His favorite book is Tuesdays with Maury. He can get down with some steak and asparagus. So we got some steak, boys. Yeah, with Tyler Ford and Matt Kallio. They want some steak. So let's get them a really nice Soto steak, someplace downtown. Bring them the best and finest cuts of meat to these men. They're going to be refereeing our game tonight. Let's get them some steak. Let's go get this right. Go get to their preference. They want it a little bit more bloody and raw. Go ahead. That's what they want. That's what they want. Give it to them. Asparagus too. Asparagus is good with steak, Matt Callio. I'm with you, man. His favorite app is TripIt. He most like to visit Portugal, and his bucket list is to go on a Norwegian cruise. There you go. There you go. Matt Callio, as a native of Canada, has served as an official for 12 years in the Canadian Collegiate Athletic Association and 11 years for U Sports, the national sport governing body of university sports in Canada. So, yeah, Matt Callio is a true Canadian, a proud Canadian, just like a lot of us are. And I'm going to take this moment to say, go out and vote, Ontario. Vote in your provincial election right this second. Go out there. Early voting is open today. And while you're out there, while you're talking to people today, encourage other people in your life to vote. Tell like 10 other people around you, hey, go vote. When you see them, hey, seriously, remind all the people in your life, everywhere around you that you know are eligible to vote, to go vote. They have over a week to do it right now, and we need to get them out there and voting. I'm telling you right now, they got to vote right up until February the 27th. So get in there and get voted. I went yesterday and voted early at my place and made sure I got my vote in. And I will say this right now, do not vote PC. We cannot afford any more right-wing totalitarian bullshit going on in this world because this is the way it's going. And if you're going to vote right-wing, you may be voting against freedom. You may be voting against Canada. And I'm just going to remind everybody that Doug Ford is very happy that Donald Trump won the presidency. He said that immediately after, celebrated it, and said, I'm so glad Donald Trump won. So this guy is lying when he says he'll stand up against him in defense of Canada. So please do not vote for that blue PC party. Go and vote for strategic voting, whoever's going to have the best defense of beating them. And I was going to say that right now. That's right. So I early voted yesterday. I'm so proud of myself. I did my part of the democratic process of Canada, and we need to protect this, y'all. So I'm going to just take a little side to say, go vote right now. Go vote today before the game tonight. You'll find your polling place. It may not be that busy today, and you can go in, get out, and know that in your good conscience, you activated yourself politically and your powers, what you can do as voting. And don't let them tell you your vote doesn't matter, and don't let them tell you that you shouldn't vote because they want you to not vote, and they're going to tell you that. And if you get fooled by that, that's your own damn fault, is what I'm going to say right there. So the third rep, Matt Callio, is right in the middle. We used to have a good record with Matt. We used to be perfect with him. In fact, we were 3-0 and 100%, but we've lost or 2-0 and 100%, but we've lost 3 straight with Matt Callio the last 2 years, including one game already this year. So we're 400 now. So 40% win percentage with the Canadian Matt Callio, and Matt Callio with the Suns is 25%. So it is favoring the Raptors 40-25, the split with the Canadian ref, Matt Callio. So yeah, it's so important, guys. Early voting is so important. Go vote. Vote on the day. Just get away from work or wherever and get time carved out to get down to that polling place. Find out where it is and get down there and vote. Look for the yellow and black signs that say vote in your local area. That will be where you can vote. If you can't find it, go look up online and find your riding number, whatever part of Ontario you live in, and get your vote in. I'm serious. Don't mess around with this. Exercise your right to vote. Because honestly, the more it looks like in crazy ways, we may not have that right in the years, very near years to go. So you better use it now. We don't want to lose it. You don't use it, you lose it, is what I'm saying right now. All right, there you go. There's your ref report. Now, the ESPN matchup promoter is saying right now, as we speak, I'm going to look at it live. The matchup predictor is predicting that the Suns are favored to win. And they are this percentage to win. I believe it's 54%. 54% Suns, 46% Raptors to win the game today. So they are favored 54-46 by the ESPN power ranker or matchup ranker or something like that. Okay. So there's our setup for today. Commissioner Jay in the house, Commissioner Fun. Wise people never know all things, but only fools know everything. Yeah, in some ways, you got to be smart enough to know you don't know anything. That's the thing, man. The people that think they know everything, got questions for everything, they really don't, and they're not being honest with themselves. And they may make up shit. They're just trying like fill in the blanks.
I may be guilty of this sometimes because I'm a speculator. I winders. But for the most part, the important thing about this action is that you can go back and change your opinions on new facts. This is something that a certain political party in the United States is not very good at. This is anti-science people. They don't believe climate change is real. They'll make up every damn excuse in the world and understand why this is not real. This is not real because they're not listening. The facts are there. They can change your opinion if you look at the facts and open your eyes to them. So I'm just going to say, the wisest man knows he knows nothing. And that's just the damn truth. And in fact, knowing that he knows nothing is in some ways knowing more than the person that thinks they know everything. And that's just the truth. That's just the truth. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Trevor J. He's saying, y'all have to listen to Masai on his take why Ingram and Yak are on this team. Yeah, that was an interesting interview. There were some clips released yesterday of Masai Ujiri in a sit-down interview talking very specifically about those two players, at least the two clips I saw. And Masai was echoing something I just said on this channel a couple days ago. And it's kind of funny when I'm lining up with Masai, before I even hear him, I say something he's going to say. And he said basically, having Brandon Ingram on our team is another weapon to close out games. And he said very specifically, we have not had very many players on our team in our history of the franchise of the Raptors that are that quality of closer on a team to be able to carry a team and make a lot of points and help the team to win, like dominate the end of the game. And he said that is what Brandon Ingram is. And that is why we're so very happy and proud to have him on our team. And we feel like he's going to be a huge addition, is because Masai has full confidence in him closing games, making a lot of baskets, and helping us win at the end of games. I said this like Wednesday, and he said it on Friday, I guess, or something like that. But yeah, this is exactly true. I said one of the biggest things that Brandon is going to be able to do is help us close games and win games. And Masai said the same damn thing in this interview. That's awesome, man. It makes me feel like I know what I'm talking about, and I'm not crazy talking out of my ass. Now, the other stuff about Jakob, I didn't know if this was like totally like fair. He said Jakob is a championship center on a team with really good players. Like, okay. I mean, anybody could be a championship center if they got Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman on their team. You can ask Will Purdue, well, not Will Purdue, but you can ask Bill Wennington or Bill Cartwright or those kind of guys, Luke Longley. Nah, listen, that's in some ways, Jakob, in some ways, I guess it's just a statement saying that the team needs to be very talented to win a championship. And, well, we have a very talented team, and we can be a championship team with Jakob Poeltl as our center. And I love that Masai really values him. You got to understand, he's somebody he scouted a long time ago and wanted to be on the Raptors and drafted him. And then had to trade him to get, Kawhi and Danny Green. And, we reacquired him. That's how much we like him. That's why I tell people, it's like we went and got him twice, because we really like him. We really, really like him. In fact, when we traded him to San Antonio, it was a necessary thing for that deal, because that's what Popovich wanted in the deal coming to him, because he wanted Jakob down there. And I don't know if the Kawhi Leonard for DeMar DeRozan deal happens without Jakob Poeltl in that deal. So, yeah, that's how much Masai likes him. He's gone out of his way to go get him twice. So why the hell do Raptors fans sometimes feel like Jakob Poeltl is disposable and not a good person to have on our team? Masai went and got him twice. He's coveted him a lot. And also, have you looked at our win percentage with and without Jakob? Okay, that's all you need to know. Watch the video clip. All right, Trevor's giving us our Black History moment for February. New York's Forgotten Pioneers, the National Basketball Association's first all-black team in 1979. The New York Knicks, National Basketball Association, NBA decades earlier, became the first franchise to field an all-black NBA team May the 15th, 2024? That's weird. That's a lot later. So they didn't have a single white guy on the team? Is that what you're saying in 2024? Interesting. All right, there's your Black History moment. Trevor J. I didn't realize that. That's weird, man. That's weird. That's recent. Trevor's saying Sixers are a joke. Could not beat Brooklyn with George, Maxey, and Joel. Clarkson Block Party was Claxton with an X. Claxton, not Clark Claxton. Claxton. Block Party was on fire. 76ers now lost 7 games. Yeah, this was a interesting matchup for Raptors fans on Reddit. they were making funny jokes about watching the Sixers versus the Nets and how much fun that is to see two teams we don't like battle, and we're wondering if they could both lose. Well, Cameron Johnson said, just like Scotty last week, he ain't trying to lose. He ain't trying to tank for ping pong balls. And, well, he took it out on the Sixers a bit last night. Yeah, I was surprised to see that score, especially since Embiid was playing and they were healthy and Paul George is out there. It's like, Paul George, you're wasting your life, obviously, because, you alone at one point in your career would have been enough as star power to beat a team like the Nets last night. But amazing that you can't beat them with Maxey and Embiid with you. That's insane. That is insane. A totally ineffective basketball team, the 76ers right now. It's kind of like how the Raptors were ineffective a couple years ago under the same coach named Nick Nurse. Once you lose them, you've lost them. And I feel like Nick has lost that team because, man, they can't even beat the Nets. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Apparently, I heard that Joel was benched in this game last night. That's what they're saying on ESPN in a high one of these here. It's saying Embiid bench declines comment after the Sixers lose 7 straight game. Yeah. Season full of championship hopes has turned into a debacle for the 76ers. Woo-hoo-hoo. How sweet it is in some ways. Yeah, it's pretty goofy, man. Very, very goofy. Coach Nurse said he benched Embiid in the fourth because the lineup on the court that included Gaberson Yabusele was playing well in the quarter. They had a good feel for the game at that point. I just want to let them roll. He didn't want to put Embiid back in there to screw them up, is what he's saying right there. That's right. Wow. Sixers dumpster fire. And I think we play them some more times still this year. So it could be very interesting. All right, let's see. The Superfan, Monique Lawrence, is in the house. Good to see Superfan Mo. We love Superfan. I don't know if you're going to the game today. If you are, enjoy the game today, Mo. Head down to the Scotiabank Arena and cheer our Raptors on to a victory over the Phoenix Suns today. I hope that will happen. You know, Scotty, the Raptors played the Suns on a Sunday once a while back, like about 25 years ago, actually, right around now. And I went to that game. And I've witnessed. I wasn't working. I actually bought the ticket and went to that game. The first ever televised game on NBC against the Suns was our opponent. The Raptors' first time ever on NBC, on national television down there, because of a man named Vince Carter, who called the game last time and told you need to step up. Well, if you listen to Vince from Friday's game against the Miami Heat, well, this is a great opportunity to mimic history. You know, Vince went out and got 50 points for the first time in his career against the Phoenix Suns on a Sunday afternoon, Scotty. So, yay. You know what? You want to try something? Go ahead. I mean, if you don't want to do it, Scott, maybe we get RJ, get in there and get 50 points tonight in honor of Vince Carter's 50-point game on NBC a long time ago that I went to. That was also the day I met Tracy McGrady. But, yeah. What do you want? Somebody on the team go get 50 points just because it's tradition. In the Raptors history, Vince Carter dropping 50 on the Phoenix Suns on an NBA on NBC night day. That was a very, very good day. It was a very, very good day. It was a fun game to go to. So, Monique, I know you're going to bring the good winning vibes down there. And I know you're going to do all you can. And as Monique always says, come back out of that halftime and kick their ass is what we're saying. Go and beat them, Raptors, and don't start flat after halftime. That's one of the key moments of the game, and Monique's going to be saying that today when she's at the game, if she is going to the game at halftime. Yeah, get it right when you come back out. Good to see Mo always. I love you, Mo. Hope you're doing great today. Trevor's saying episode 3 of Raptors Delight will be on at 12 p.m. on YouTube, the rebuild. So we could actually watch it ahead of time on YouTube. They're going to post it at noon today. And we can watch it and react to it way before the game. The game's at 6 p.m. And they'll show it on television after the game on Sportsnet. Well, all right. It looks like around noon after the stream, I'll get something that I got to review and check it out. Yeah. The rebuild, huh? That's what they're naming it. I thought it was Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan show. That's what I want to see. That's right. The rebuild, huh? Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy game day. Let's get the dub later against the Suns. Yeah. The sun's not out right now. So maybe the sun will hide behind the cloud. But we do kind of want sun out here to start melting things. In fact, we're going to get some plus weather starting today, kind of. It's going to be right around 0. So there's going to be some thawing going on in the next couple of days. So mediate
your ice and snow on your house in different ways and flood places. So look out. We may be getting some water in the next couple of days. Tomorrow's going to be above zero in a lot of Ontario. So there's going to be a big thaw over the next couple of days. Y'all be ready for that. That's right. This dub. Let's get that dub against the Suns. And maybe this real sun will help us get rid of the snow. Fiercey saying we won both games and we're heading to the finals at 12:30. Thanks for the positive vibes. So there you go. Fiercey Jr. at the regionals right now. She won both her games yesterday, and they're heading to the finals today at 12:30. Let's wish MJ and her daughter good luck in today's game at the finals, and hope, I want MJ's daughter to be a badass and play for the Toronto Tempo someday. How about that? These dreams go on inside my mind. The Fierce Junior plays for the Tempo, and I get to talk about her on this channel. That'd be awesome. Wouldn't that be cool? If MJ's daughter all of a sudden was in the WNBA at some point, that would be fantastic. Who knows? I know a level of achievement that she rises up to and gets to. We're going to be all proud of her no matter what. But man, wouldn't that be cool as hell if we could have a Raptor Freak family on a team that we're rooting for? That would be so awesome. That'd be so good, man. I hope we'll see. We'll see how things develop. She's developing. That's right. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew. I expect another competitive game. One thing I don't understand, why have Grady defending top players don't match defense to your position? I would prefer we switch. She's alluding to Tyler Hero on Friday, I'm sure. Because it was true that Grady has having to lock up on Tyler Hero quite a bit on the Friday game. And it was bad results at times. I mean, they got on Grady at different times. I saw Darko giving it to him coming off the court one time about trying to tell him something. And, of course, there's different teammates on the court that were very stern with him at times, including Emmanuel Quickly. There was something that Grady did in the game last that he had to be corrected from the veteran Emmanuel. Yeah, I mean, get what you're saying, and it makes sense what you're saying. Why put him, if he's not the best defender, on a player like Tyler Hero? Well, there is good development from it. There is the ability for Grady to firsthand see Tyler's tricks when he plays them on him. And maybe it rubs off on him and he learns a little bit of something because it gets done to him. This is true. Like a lot of competitors in this world, and we'll talk about something in a second, they like to steal things from their opponents. So if you get beat by something, you want to take maybe what they've used against you to beat you and maybe use it to beat somebody else in the future. So I think that's part of the reasoning with this. I mean, they're naturally going to guard each other in the future. So you might as well start now. Even if he's not very good at it, he's got to learn and, throw him to the fire. And, Tyler Hero may get like almost 40 points, but Grady's learning, and there's a learning curve, and we are in a development year. So I would say, let him guard him. Guard him every time, because hopefully a couple of years down the road, he'll guard him really well because he knows him really well. And also, he'll steal some of his stuff, and he'll start using it himself. So, I mean, I don't disagree with this because in some ways, he's going to have to guard someone. And in some ways, Tyler is the best person for him to guard when we play the Miami Heat for a few reasons, because he kind of matches up with him physically with the same skills as far as quickness and height and strength. And that's better for him to guard, Tyler Hero than Bam Adebayo. No, we don't want him guarding him. No, we don't. Blackhawks saying Darko believes in exposing Grady on defense. He'll get better. There you go. That's Neil's right. Neil's right on it. He's going to have to do it. And that may be the weakness. And, he had a really glowing remarks about Jamison Battle in relation to this. Darko asked about a couple of rookies yesterday, Mobo and Battle in particular, and saying that he's really impressed with Jamison Battle's commitment to increasing his defense and being better and better, and that he's seen a real arc of growth with Jamison Battle on his defensive side of things and being aware, bulking up more with more muscle and being able to play defense more effectively as the year's gone on. These are certain things for certain players that they have to work on a lot. And Jamison's been getting better and better, and Darko's very happy with the level of how much he's getting better. And that's signified partly by the contract that Jamison was given last month. Now, he said Mobo, he wants him to work on being more and more of a defensive energy guy and really, really a disruptor is what he wants. He wants his long arms, his wingspan, and his ability and his package of what he has as a player to just cause havoc for the other team on their offense
and just get out there, get hands and the fingers on the balls and deflections, and just get it loose and get us turnovers and get us running the other way. So very interesting interview with Darko on his birthday. Happy birthday, Coach. And I hope you had a good birthday. Well, it seemed like it, because at practice yesterday, GSP came by again. He must really like the Raptors. He's a good Canadian guy who's like, I guess he's good friends with Darko. I think that's part of it, that Darko and him have formed a bond, and they're friends. And George came down again for like another pep talk at our practice again. And he did a whole seminar on being a competitor and competing to win and playing and competing at the highest level, and mentality and mindset, and defeating fear in a competition where you're going in and you may have a tough opponent that you're a little bit worried about. Well, how do you get your head around it so that you can come in confident and come in with the best foot forward, even if you feel overmatched? Well, that's the kind of stuff that George was talking to them yesterday. And apparently they had a ring set up, and they had an official there too, and they're joking around about people fighting in MMA and getting set up. They were teaching them and training them holds and fighting moves and stuff like that. That's fantastic. It's pretty cool to see the Raptors with George St. Pierre doing that stuff. Of course, the clip also showed Scotty in the ring, and he's like acting like this. We know Scotty's a big MMA fan, but he's on the record for saying he would never want to fight MMA, because he's a lover, not a fighter. But yeah, he loves watching it, and he knows all about it. Manuel doesn't know too much about MMA himself. He's not really an MMA guy. But he appreciated the talk from George St. Pierre yesterday at practice. But yeah, they made a whole thing where there's like, all right, Scotty, here comes your opponent. And they showed it, George coming in the ring, and Scotty put that look, and then he like ran away. And the ref said, "Are you guys ready to fight?" And Scotty said, "No." And he ran out of the ring because he wasn't going to fight a Hall of Famer MMA fighter like George St. Pierre. It's so silly. It's so goofy, that whole clip. But yeah, there was a rumor yesterday, and Manuel was saying that there was a buzz around practice that Scotty was going to fight Jamal Shed in an MMA match, that they had talked it up. It got a little bit like a schoolyard fight thing. Oh, they're going to fight. We better be there and watch it. Everybody wanted to see it. And they were going to do it apparently, but cooler heads prevailed and came in and said, "No, guys, you are on big multi-million-dollar NBA contracts. We cannot have you guys fight an MMA fight against each other, Jamal and Scotty." So that little scrimmage of a fight between the two of them that they were talking about having at practice, and everybody's getting all excited. They want to see it. What then never happened. And it's probably because of liability. It's the same reason why there's a clip out with Grady Dick right now talking about his new love for hockey since he became a Raptor in the last 2 years. He said he never watched hockey in his life when he lived in Kansas. He wasn't into it at all. But his brothers come up from Kansas, and they like to go to the Leaf games. And he got really into it with them. He says they like going to watch the fights. But Grady's more into hockey now. They asked him, "Do you want to play hockey?" He said, "Man, I don't know how to ice skate. I don't think I'll ever try." And apparently the NBA won't let me ice skate because of, once again, liability, multi-million-dollar contracts. These guys can't be getting hurt because they're out on an ice skating rink and they're screwing around doing something that they don't know how to do very well. Nah. I see my mom break her arm at a roller skating rink, and that stuff can happen. So, yeah. These guys aren't allowed to ice skate, and they're not allowed to MMA fight either. That's a new contract, guys. You can't do this. It's in the contract. Seriously, it probably is in there. They probably reminded them. They were probably like, "Yeah, Scott, you can't fight Jamal. I'm sorry. It's in your contract. You can't do it. It's right here." Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, yeah. We won't fight then. So limitations. I mean, in some ways, what's the choice? You want to be able to screw around ice hockey, ice skating, MMA fighting, or do you want to make millions of dollars playing in the NBA? It's a choice here. Come on now. That's right. All right, let's keep going in the chat. Good stuff. Infamous is here. Good to see the return of Raptor Freak. Infamous. Always happy to see Infamous, a longtime Raptor Freak, in the chat. He's saying, "Salute, freaks. I have a strong feeling Nick Nurse will be fired before the end of the season. He lost the locker room." Yeah, I think he'll finish the year. I don't think they'll fire him before the end of the year, but they may terminate his contract in the summer. It may very well. I don't know. It could go two ways. It could be that Daryl Morey loves Nick Nurse so much and doesn't think he's the problem, and he starts shipping out other the players instead. He's like, yeah, Nick's like, "Keep Maxey, but get Joel out of here. Get him out of here. Get that garbage out of here." Yeah, I said it. Yeah. So we'll have to see. There is an outside chance that he picks Nurse over these guys and says, yeah, no, you guys are the problem. It's not Nick. It's not Nick. I don't know. He does have a lot of loyalty to Nick. And, of course, Daryl Morey really wanted Nick Nurse to coach his team, that he came and interfered with our team to get him. So I don't know. That'd be hilarious if in some ways that's what happens. Now, Nick, if you take a year off after this, if you're not coaching next year, take a year off completely and then come back and get a new job in next summer. And don't be in the Eastern Conference. Go back out. Go out west. Take a Western Conference team. Like, what is next? Is Nick going to be the coach of the Hornets? I mean, seriously, what's next for him? I'm wondering about this, man. I'm wondering about this. That's right. Blackhawks saying the 76ers want to ditch Embiid more than Nick. See, he's saying exactly what I was thinking just now, because that could very well be true. They may be just sick of his shit. Like the Mavericks, if the Mavericks are sick of Doncic for stuff, how do you think the Sixers feel about Embiid? Seriously, if the Mavericks were willing to not give a supermax to Luka Doncic and trade him like that, how do you think the Sixers feel deep down inside for real about their project, the next big guy, whatever, this whole thing they did the last 15 years or so with their losing to get a player like him, and then they see it never pays off. Never pays off. That's right. Infamous saying, Masai is basically saying that all those things, saying trade Yak, it's not happening anytime soon. Yeah, thank God. He's a brilliant man. He's a smart man. He knows how to run a basketball team. And a lot of these casuals online and social media and other spaces that just don't value Poeltl exactly right, well, they're idiots. And this is why you're not the president of the Toronto Raptors and Masai Ujiri is, because he understands the importance of Poeltl on the Raptors. Excuse me. Water break. All right, let's go. Fiercely saying, agreed. Nick Nurse's tenure as the Sixers coach is coming to an end. Well, there could be two ways it goes. Fans calling for it, and the results speak for themselves. When you start a new venture relationship on blurry basis, it can never go well, in my opinion. It depends. Sometimes it can if you're lucky and a lot of things fit. But, yeah, this is a really weird thing that happened. And like we said, ball don't lie. You get a technical and you didn't deserve it, and they go up to the free throw line and they brick the shot and they don't make it. Well, this is kind of like this, except for on a coaching hire. In some ways, and when it ain't right, and basketball gods, ball don't lie. Well, this is like a coaching hire. One of these, it really, really is. In some ways, this is just how it's supposed to be, because that technical shouldn't have been called, and Nick shouldn't have sabotaged his Toronto Raptors head coaching career. And well, ball don't lie. Basketball gods are speaking on this. That's right. That's right. Infamous saying, I disagree. He's gone before the end of the season. Book it. That's more likely. If we're doing a matchup predictor on this, I'd say it's probably 60 to 70% Knicks fired, or the other alternative we were talking about. I think Sixers fans, some of them may want to fire Nick, but some of them may be like, no, we like Coach Nurse, and we'd rather get rid of Joel. Seriously. I think Joel's the biggest problem on this team, but Paul George is probably a problem too. Not going to lie. He's probably a problem too. Yeah, Fiercely saying, a wise person once said, good luck with these guys. There you go. Fiercely's going to get a dunk because she's hilarious. That is so funny. A wise man. He was a wise man at that point, I guess. I don't know where he's at now with his life. Good luck with those guys. Yeah, good luck with those guys, Nick. 21. Fiercely's got her 7th dunk of the year. I love it. That's so funny. She used her words of wisdom to put a sick burn on Nick Nurse. That's hilarious, Fiercely. I love that. I love that so much. Fiercely, you're awesome. Blackhawks saying 76ers are trying to get a lottery pick. Nick Nurse is safe. So you think that they're losing on purpose now? Man, it looks so bad, though. It really, really looks bad. Well, once again, this is the way of the Sixers. Have they gotten anywhere losing on purpose in 10 years? Seriously. Have they gotten anywhere? We never lost on purpose, really. I mean, a little bit in Tampa. Maybe a little bit this year. But when we won the championship, we didn't have to lose on purpose to win the championship, did we? No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We did not. Let's see. Kareem's here. Good to see Kareem Thomas. Most intriguing matchup is clearly the Raptor versus Devin Booker. I wonder how the Raptor will act when Devin is at the free throw line. Man, that's such a classic rivalry. You're making me think of that one game. It's so hilarious. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know. I'll bet you the Raptor will troll him in some sort of way at some point in the game. That may be a nice little Easter egg in the game to look out for. We're going to play Raptors bingo card and say, all right, is the Raptor going to interact with Devin Booker? Mark it off. You know, the bingo card got marked right away at the beginning of the show, the other podcast. And I think Matt Devlin does listen to us because he did two things right away at the beginning of the broadcast in Miami. He said exactly what I told y'all he was going to say. We're in the warm, friendly confines of the Scotiabank Arena, and it's cold outside. I dared him. I said, well, how much y'all think Matt Devlin's going to make a comment about being warm in the arena and cold outside at the beginning of the game? And he did right away at the broadcast for the Miami game. Right away, he said that little line. He always does. And he even said something else. I saw it in the morning, but this was just because it was true. This is the fourth matchup with the Miami Heat, and they're winning 2-1. And if we win, we can tie it up. You know, so here's a little bit of notes maybe taken. You know, I may be an easy place to go that aggregated a lot of information, and he's able to kind of do a cheat sheet off of me and without even having to go look up stuff. He can listen to me and just write it down or just remember it. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking my importance, but he did do this right at the beginning of the game. And I did say, watch, Matt will do this. I don't know if that's a little subtle nod to us, Matt. I don't know. I should get him to say something. I should ask him to say something really specific. And then it'll be like code for us. That he's like, yeah, he's watching. I don't know. What's a weird thing I could say on the stream that we can test and see if Matt Devlin will do on the broadcast? I don't know. Either way, Matt, I'd be honored and flattered if you do actually listen to me as part of your preparation for games. I would be so honored and flattered. You're an amazing, amazing broadcaster. And I am so happy and proud that you are the voice of the Raptors. And you have been over the decades or so that you've been in charge of that. And you called our championship in 2019. And that's a huge, huge thing. So, man, Matt Devlin, I'd be so flattered if you actually do use some of my research and what I say in the morning. Yeah, I would. I'd be so flattered on that. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Monica's saying, no, I'm going tonight. I'm not going tonight. I have personal things to take care of. Okay. No, I'm going tonight. I have personal things to take care of. I'm not totally sure if that's not clear. You're going and you have personal things to take care of at the game. Is that what's going on? Because I think that's what you wrote. If you're saying I'm not going, I have personal things to take care of, then I'm misinterpreting. Either way, Mo, I wish you the best day, whether it's at the arena or personal things away from the arena. Infamous saying it's very evident he lost the team gone by the end of the season, if not before. Yeah, he lost the team very early in the season. He lost them like a month into the season. He's never really recovered, though. And Kyle Lowry was showing the signs of this problem because, look, he's a Nick guy. He loves Nick inside and out. And the whole period of time around Christmas and our championship year, Kyle Lowry's mad. He was sitting at the end of the bench with a little towel around his head. You remember that? When Kyle used to sit at the end of the bench with a little towel wrapped around his head like a big hat. Yeah, what was he doing there? He was protesting, honestly. Yeah, he was defiant and mad at the Raptors and the coach and Kawhi specifically because Kawhi wasn't doing all the activities that the team does with the team. And when Kyle and DeMar were in charge of the team, they always did everything with the team. And they never superseded and put themselves above the team and opted out of team activities. Well, Kawhi was doing that left and right, and Kyle hated it. And on the down low, he was protesting on our team during the championship year around Christmas. And yeah, that's what you remember. Well, in some ways, Kyle didn't put the towel on in Philadelphia, but in some ways, he's been quietly protesting this whole season. In some ways, he's going, la, 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 I'm not listening, la, 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 la. In some ways, Kyle's just enjoying the end of his career and not really looking at the dumpster fire of Philadelphia that he's on right now. In some ways, he'd like to have positive, good memories of being a Sixer, playing for his hometown team that he always wanted to play for. But he didn't want to be on the team like this in a dumpster fire kind of way like this. So he really is kind of like that dog in the burning house. Like, am I in danger? Or he's like putting his fingers in his ears. I'm not going to listen to this toxicness. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. I'm happy. I'm smiling on the bench. This team could be sucking shit and having the worst problems. And I don't care because I'm living the best life as Kyle Lowry would. You know, I don't think Kyle Lowry likes Paul George. Let's just put it that way. I think that Kyle Lowry, much like a lot of the Raptors champions from that championship team, have a certain level of standard and work ethic. And I don't think Paul George matches up to it. In fact, maybe it might be it's like, look, this guy does all the things that Kawhi used to do that bug me, but he's not even working hard. Kawhi at least worked hard and tried his ass off and worked hard as a player. But this Paul George guy, he's not doing jack shit. So I don't think that Kyle Lowry has any respect whatsoever for Paul George. I can tell their energy is not connected.
In some ways, it's like Kyle's like, yeah, this guy's an idiot. Well, I have no power because I'm the veteran point guard and I'm just kind of around. Well, I'm just going to go la, la, la. I'm just here. I'm enjoying myself. Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champs. I'm happy about that. And I don't give a shit about the Sixers right now. It really feels like the energy from Lowry. He's not playing either recently. He's been hurt. So, yeah, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting stuff there. Let's see. Kareem saying Darko's development. Oh, wait. Smooth saying that Sixers tanking, man. Nick Nurse benched and beat in the fourth. Well, he said it was a matchup. He said it was a matchup and that he thought that Yabusele should run at center. It was a matchup decision. I mean, I can see that. The Nets are a young team and they run a lot. And Joel's just going to slow them down, and they're not going to do as well. I mean, Cameron Johnson, those young guys are young, and they're going to run all over on the Sixers. And Joel is a detriment in certain ways as far as an up-tempo game. So it could very well be that Cam Johnson's pushing the pace. And, yeah, the Knicks like, I can't play Joel right now because he's slowing us down, and we're going to lose even worse if he plays. Wow, what a great franchise player. You're screwed if you don't play him, and you're screwed if you do play him. It's so crazy, man. Kareem saying Darko's development techniques are not for today. They are for tomorrow. There's a lot of questionable things at times, but it's all for the betterment of everyone's individual success. Yeah. A lot of things we're doing is on the layaway for the future. And what can be possible from learning now can be possible for winning later. And that's what we're talking about right there. Yeah. Kareem saying, I can't believe how favorable our schedule is in March, April. Part of me is like, let the rookies take it from here. And there's a part of me saying, fuck it. Let's make the play in. Well, Emmanuel said again yesterday, just like Scotty earlier this week, that they want to make the play in. These guys aren't competitors that are just sitting on their ass. And it's like, if they can see it's there, they're going to try and do it. Now, will they be able to do it, considering some of the personnel decisions that may be made by the front office or even by the coach in the game? I don't know. We'll have to see. As fans, we just got to take it as it comes and just watch and be happy whatever the outcome. If they lose a close game in overtime to an experienced Miami team that outexperienced us, well, that's learning, and that's fine. If we lose today to the Suns, well, we just lost to 3 really good players, and there's no shame in that as a young team. So there's we really are in a no-lose scenario right now. Winning is winning, and losing is winning also. So let's just enjoy ourselves, Raptors fans, and hope that we get 26 wins by the end of the year. That's all I care about. I just want to have one more win than last year. That's all I care about. I don't care if we get to 30. I don't care if we get to the play-in. All I care about is improving from Darko's first season as a coach by at least 1 win. That'll be enough for me right there. They need to do that. Yeah. Let's see. Kareem saying, Lex, honest question. If management is making a choice to move from Barrett or Quickly, who would you prefer to stay? I don't even want to talk about this. This kind of talk is annoying, and I hate it because some people are already saying that this is too crowded, and I hate that. This kind of mentality is never right, and it's annoying to me because we can have a very talented team. We're allowed to. We are good enough, and gosh darn it, Toronto deserves it, Stuart Smalley, because honestly, we've been gaslighted for a long, long time to tell us we have too much talent on our team. Somebody has to leave. That is not the right way to think. If these guys can fit these guys in the salary cap, there's no reason anybody's got to leave. And this mentality has destroyed our team in the past, and I'm sick of it. I don't want to even talk about this shit. And Bobby Masai will make this kind of decision if they have to, when the money is too much for everybody to get everything. And they make a tough decision then. But I'm not even going to approach this comment because, honestly, I like both of those players extremely a lot, and they should both be a part of our franchise for the future. And they can do it with Scotty and Brandon and Jakob all together. It fits. You can watch Logical Raptors Fanatic. He's shown the puzzle pieces, and it fits. And we could even get bench players, too, this summer. So there's no reason to even breach this question because, honestly, I don't even want to talk about this. If this becomes more of a reality down the road, sure. There's going to be negative people, chicken littlers, Zazu Spaces, Redditors, social media smarties that think they know everything, but getting back to the word of the wisdom, they don't know jack shit. They're going to talk about this a lot, and I don't want to add to this noise. The picture is showing that they can be here, and I don't even want to talk about this. So I don't like this question. I'm going to move on. I'm not picking, all right? I'm not going to pick.
Smooth saying Mavericks playing stupid, man. Luka had a Luka game last night. Yeah, they are dumb. That's a generational talent. Luka Magic is no longer in Dallas, and the Dallas fans are pissed. And if I was a Dallas Mavericks freak, I would be pissed. I'd be very, very pissed. In fact, that may be really crazy Friday freakouts and Wow Wednesdays going on with me just going off if I was Mavericks freak. If I was the equivalent of myself for that franchise right now, holy crap. That might be some crazy entertainment just because I'm going off in crazy ass, mad ass ways right now. If I was Mavericks freak. Oh, yeah. That was, man, one of the worst managed teams in the league. And the history is there. Stunted Growth has a new piece out on it, talking about exactly how bad Nico Harrison is as a GM and going over every single part of why he's been so bad. Whether it's Jalen Brunson and the failings with that, whether it's the failings of trading Luka, or even Kristaps Porzingis, the way he handled that. There's all kinds of goofy stuff that Dallas has had by their management in the last, really since Dirk left, has been absolutely dreadful. They've been dropping the balls left and right with what they're trying to do with that team. All right, this is awesome. I love that Stargate brought this up, and I forgot about this, and I'm glad we brought this up. Stargate saying that IQ at practice yesterday said he was working with Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, Chris Jackson of LSU, one of the greatest scorers in NCAA history as far as putting points in the basket. And then, of course, coming in the league and playing for the Denver Nuggets for a few years at the highest level as one of the best scorers in the league, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf is somebody we don't talk about enough because in some ways he was controversial because he stood up against America in certain ways, certain things with the anthem and things were happening. In some ways, he was the NBA's Colin Kaepernick. And, well, it's really cool that Emmanuel works with him. In fact, he let it be known that he worked with him this whole All-Star break is what's going on. Yeah, he was with him during the All-Star break. Perfect guy for Quick to learn from. Great move on his part. Yeah. Well, he let it be known that he's been working with Chris Jackson for a few years now. In fact, he did his pre-draft training for the NBA 5 years ago with Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. So he's somebody he touches base with often. He's probably going and working out with him during the offseason a lot. He also let it be known that he was working out with Markelle Fultz during the All-Star break in LA. They were in California, and that's where those palm trees were that Emmanuel was. So he didn't take this All-Star break off. He went at it, and he trying to still build up from his groin injury and his other injuries from the season and staying in a high level to be able to continue to play healthy for the Toronto Raptors for the rest of the season. So good job, Emmanuel. And I agree with Stargate. This is a really, really good mentor, a really, really good person for Emmanuel Quickley to be talking to, because if there's somebody who knew how to put the ball in an NBA hoop, it was Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. Yeah, a former teammate of Dikembe Mutombo, the great Mutombo, of course. Yeah, that is so awesome, isn't it, Stargate? You know what? Thanks for bringing this up. I might have forgotten to say it, so I'm going to give Stargate a dunk for a timely reminder of something that we heard yesterday. Sometimes I don't remember to talk about everything. And, well, Stargate's come through on this one. 21 for you, my guy. 7 dunks for you for the season already now. All right, let's keep going. Blackhawks saying with a lottery pick, Sixers can afford to ditch Embiid if the pick is right. All right, Sixers freaks. We're going to talk about Sixers today, even though we're not playing them. This is interesting. I mean, I could see them doing this. Seriously. If Luka can get traded like this, Joel can get cut and get traded the hell out of Philadelphia, and they could just throw up their hands and say, we're done with you, man. We're sick of you. You're out of here. A lot of Sixers fans have been like this for a couple years already and ready to move on from Embiid. So these people may get what they want. Seriously. Maybe they'll get rid of Nurse and Embiid this summer. Yeah, and let Maxey have his team and get a new coach. Let's see. Smooth saying, imagine you have the Dallas Cowboys, one of the top 3 valuable franchises in the world, and Luka Doncic. A basketball player was the face of Dallas. They traded him. Such fools. Yeah, they were able to compete with the popularity of the Cowboys to a degree because of Luka, and the Cowboys just, they've been a certain kind of team for a few years now, just not competing and not very, they're inept in some ways, the Cowboys, from what I've heard. So in some ways they were winning the sports city. So I don't know. There's a lot of nefarious, different rumors about why the Mavs traded him. I think that it's really unclassy that the front office and the owner are really making light of Luka and his work ethic and being fat and stuff like that after he left. That's just wrong. There's an article out with Dirk Nowitzki where he's absolutely upset that Luka got traded, and he's very disappointed in the Mavericks for doing that. And in some ways, he understood that Luka was his guy to carry on the legacy after him, and he got to play with him a little bit right at the end. And in some ways, that was important to Dirk, that he wanted to ensure that his beloved franchise, the Mavericks, were in good hands with a young player like Luka Doncic. Well, that's all out the window, and Dirk doesn't like it. In fact, he's very critical and upset about this Luka trade as a legend of that team. I mean, look at what you did, Nico. You got your fans completely up in arms, all crazy. Some of them are going to stop supporting the team, and you got your Hall of Famer, your most important player in the history of your franchise, very much disagreeing and not happy with what you did too. So, yeah, that is what it is. It's crazy. Stargate saying, now only if we can get Scotty to go work with Tim Duncan. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I don't know if Tim Duncan works with anybody other than a silver and gold player. He really is like that. He is an assistant coach for that team. I hate hearing the news recently that Popovich will not return this season to coach for the Spurs. It may very well be that his coaching career is over because of the stroke this year, and I hate that. Mitch Johnson has been an okay replacement, but now with Victor out, the Spurs are in kind of a cruise to the end of the season at the bottom of the standings and just kind of get a high draft pick kind of mode at this point, which, some of the Spurs fans are used to the last few years. And in some ways, they don't mind dipping back in to lottery for another kind of high level pick to add to Steph Castle and Victor Wembanyama, Jeremy Sohan. So, yeah, you know what? Scotty doesn't need to talk to Tim Duncan to learn about Tim Duncan. It's kind of funny because I remember this shit. This is so funny. In the heyday of Scotty Barnes Twitch family in 2022, 3 years ago, when we were there with him all the time, people like MJ and Cool Cat and Monique and Isaac Campbell and Tom Duke, when we were in there with him, Scotty one day on his Twitch stream asked us a question to the chat. He said, chat, who do you guys think I play like, or who do you think I should play like? And I straight up told him 3 names. And the 3 names I've been saying all along: Magic Johnson, Scott, Kawhi Leonard, and Tim Duncan. I told him Tim Duncan at that time. I don't know. He's like, okay, guys. Okay, Raptor Streak. And I don't know if he had the impetus partly to go and study more Tim Duncan because of maybe feedback from us, me specifically, because I think I was the only person who said Tim Duncan. But Scotty is emulating Tim Duncan right now. It's a very, very clear that his team defense and his help blocking, his block shots helping, that's all Tim Duncan's signature stuff. And in some ways, it's smart because Tim Duncan had one of the highest winning percentages in the NBA as a player over his whole entire career. He barely ever missed the playoffs, and he won like 75% of all of his games. So if Scott can do Tim Duncan kind of stuff as a team defender, we will win a lot more, especially because in some ways, Tim Duncan, like Scott, doesn't have to be the leading scorer. He can do so much to help the team win without scoring. And that's what I'm saying. So, man, I hope I helped put the little seed in his head about possibly learning and studying Tim Duncan over the last couple of years because he's starting to look like him at times on the defensive end. I love that. So, I mean, he doesn't need to talk to him. In some ways, we know Tim Duncan's a recluse. He ain't trying to be out in the public eye. If he shows up, he's sneaking in the back door of the Spurs practice facility, and he's helping the Spurs. Let's not get it twisted. He's very, very loyal to his team. But there's no reason why Scotty can't come to talk to Jakob, who was in San Antonio for like 4 years and got a lot of tutelage from Tim Duncan. And I'm sure Jakob Poeltl has a whole storage of Tim Duncan teachings in him because he worked extensively with Tim Duncan. So there's that. And then there's, of course, Scotty's a student of the game, will actually watch old tape. He watches a lot of old players, and he probably does glean footwork and skill techniques and what they're doing with their hands or whatever from old players. So I think there's a little bit of getting Tim Duncan in different ways, maybe through Poeltl, maybe through watching also the old clips. But hey, that's a perfect person for Scotty and his body type and his skill set to emulate. If we want to win, yeah, Tim Duncan's a winner. Oh, yeah. That's right. Let's see. I thought the Sixers didn't have their pick this year. That's the other thing. In some ways, that's why the theory of them saying, they're tanking for the pick doesn't make sense, because they don't have their pick unless it's protected. And I think they're in this weird zone, kind of like we were last year with giving the pick to San Antonio, where they're probably going to have to be just outside, just barely going to have to give it. And it may be a really good pick is going to the team that gets it. I don't even know which team gets it. It's another it's maybe Oklahoma City or something like that. Something crazy. But yeah, I think this is right. I don't think the Sixers they may have a protected pick in the top 6. I don't know if they'll be actually top 6. They may fall like 8 or 9 or 10 and have to give that pick up. It's crazy. Yeah, Smooth saying their pick is top 7 protected. Okay, if it falls out of the top 7, it goes to OKC. Perfect. I was right. All right, you guys are fact checking me. I didn't read that comment yet. And so it is the Thunder who will get their pick, but it has to be out of the top 7, which is very doable in some ways. Very doable. Yeah, top 6 or 7. Not sure which one. It's one of those. Yeah. Similar to us last year with the Spurs situation. It's very, very similar. It's just a switch us in for now. Let's see. Blackhawk saying, can you see who the Sixers pick up with top 6? To me, it's Malak. Screw that. We want Malak. No. We don't want the Sixers getting him. We want Malak ourselves. That's who I really, really want. That is who I'm endorsing. My number 1 pick I want the Raptors to take is a 7'2" center from Duke, Common Malak. That is who I want the Raptors to pick. In fact, he's going to be at the top of my hierarchy. I've already decided. I do the closer to the draft kind of thing. I'm going to be highly promoting this man as the one I want them to get. So, no, I don't even want to talk about this Blackhawk. We do not need to see him in a Sixers jersey. We need to see him in a Raptors jersey. That's where I want to see him, yeah. So we're saying maybe Kyle gets a buyout. Nah, why would he want that? He's fine with what he's doing. He's collecting money. He's playing the NBA. He's in his hometown team. You know, I don't see him doing this. I mean, why would he want to buy out? He's going to go chase a ring with somebody else. He doesn't need to do that either. He's got a ring. Nah, I don't see this happening. In some ways, it's not smart for the Sixers or for Kyle himself. And in some ways, Nick needs Kyle, even if Kyle's not helping him or Nick's ineffective as the coach. In some ways, Kyle is still kind of Nick's ally on the team. If everybody else has tuned him out, Kyle hasn't. So in some ways, Nick's like, yeah, you can't buy out Kyle. I need him here. He's like the only one who listens to me. Yeah, he's not getting buyout. No, he said it wants it to end like this, being on a crappy Sixers team. What a way to go if it's the end. That won't be the end. You know that. We know what the end is. It's 1-day contract with us and retire as a Raptor. And then it's to sail off into the sunset of retirement, playing a lot of golf, watching his sons grow up. And, being a Raptors alumni that gets his jersey number retired in our Raptors and all the great things and all the love towards him as a non-playing player anymore. Oh, things are going to be so charmed and good for him. Nothing that Kyle's going to do right now is upsetting or sad. In some ways, I don't want him to win another championship. I really, really don't. I want it to be special with us. He's an NBA champion no matter what. He's a Toronto Raptors NBA champion. And, if the Sixers had gone right this year and they really were as good as they look like they did on paper this year, I would be rooting for them to lose so much because I didn't want Nick or Kyle to ever win another championship other than the one with the Raptors. I really, really don't. And, yeah, that's interesting. Stargate saying if the Sixers drop far enough, I can see the league handing them the first or second pick. Right now, I predict the league giving the Bulls the first. That's a little conspiracy theory. I don't know. We'll have to see how everything plays out. If something's fishy and there's some sort of weird thing with the lottery where they do get the first pick, well, maybe we will investigate this theory that you have right here. But until then, let's not get ahead of ourselves and let's not just say that they do this. If the league is truly trying to help teams like the Sixers and the Knicks for years and years, they did not do a good job getting that push or help from the league. So I'm not totally buying that they completely help them. They've helped the Knicks more recently, yes. But the Knicks were so bad for so long. They've been trying to help them for forever. And now they finally are getting some tread and getting somewhere as a franchise. The Sixers, they've gotten a lot of benefits from the NBA in different ways, but they failed and they haven't gotten anywhere even though. That's the crazy thing. In some ways, we have obstacles. We have detriments put on us, and we overcome them. That's why we're badasses. And that's why in some ways the Raptors, when we do get a chance to compete at the highest level, we really earned getting there. We really, really did. In some ways, that's the problem here. It's anyway. I don't want to go on a tangent with politics right now. I had the impulse to do one right now, but I'm not going to. It's about DEI and how stupid it is, and how they just fired a Joint Chiefs of Staff's Army general that was black, who was extremely qualified at his job, and they fired him. And they replaced him with a white man who's not good at their job. And it's like reverse DEI. This guy got the hiring not because he's black, because this guy's so good. He's up there. And in some ways, some people say, despite him being African American, he got this job the harder way, because in some ways he faced discrimination and harder hurdles to get to where he got to. Well, this is anti-DEI. They're going to fire the more qualified black man just because they think he got the job just because he's black. And then they hire a white guy who's average and not very good at his job, doesn't know what he's doing. This is like reverse DEI. And the people that think DEI is bad, no, DEI, diversity and equality initiatives, are to get the best person in the job. It's never been about just handing jobs to minorities, people of color, and different people for that. No, they merited the jobs. And in fact, these people are way better at their jobs often than their white male counterpart. And this is the case in this situation, in this really, really stupid shit with how overturning the whole entire U.S. government and what they're doing right now. It's really crazy, stupid shit they're doing down there. And another plane crash yesterday, of course. 8 of them since he became president. And they didn't have but maybe 2 in the 20 years before that. That signifies a lot right now. The United States is a plane crash entirely itself, led by MAGA and fuckface Trump. Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's see. Kareem saying fair enough. Mischief saying, yeah, I just don't want to answer that question. I hate that. A lot of people say it's RJ, but fuck that. He's our hometown hero, and we need to have him on this team. And nobody on this team is looking at each other like, I need this guy to get out of the way so I can have a bigger slice of pie. No, they're not thinking that way. That's the great thing. Sometimes that's what messes things up, is guys will be on the team like Tracy and Vince and say, oh, we can't grow together. We're on the same team, and I'll never be as great as Vince if I'm in shadow Tracy McGrady. Oh, that's bad thinking. And in some ways, the new NBA, you need star power. You need as much talent. And these guys on our team are smart. They know Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett help each other. Emmanuel Quickly, stars, they help each other to play better because there's more talent. And in some ways, the old way of thinking is like, oh, there's only so many possessions. There are only so many shots. And being selfish and thinking that way, that may have been a problem in all kinds of NBA teams in the decades before this. But there's a different thing about this team right now. And I don't think that RJ Barrett sees Brandon Ingram as a threat. And I don't think Brandon Ingram sees RJ Barrett as a threat. In fact, they could probably figure things out and fit really well together. So I don't want to have this mindset, because we want our Raptors team to be as talented as possible. And if Bobby can fit this stuff in the salary cap, well, what's the problem here? There's nothing. There's no problem if we have a glut of talent on our team, is what I'm saying. Mischief saying, it's crazy how 6'9" Rasheer Fleming has the same wingspan as 7'2" Common Malak, which is a 7'5" wingspan. 7-footers seem to be more injury prone. Look at Embiid, Wembanyama, and Poeltl. Well, it's true. Big guys can get hurt in some ways because there's more weight on them. And especially if they're not keeping themselves in shape properly, they're more likely to break down and get hurt. Jakobs has stayed in a really good weight the time he's been back with the Raptors. Light. And, these injuries, some of them with Jakob are not that serious. These aren't like the injuries that Joel deals with. His wrenching up of his knee is so messed up at this point. Jakob has light injuries compared to him, knock on wood. And a lot of this stuff that he's getting taken out for this season are piddly injuries, and in some ways part of the manipulation of what's going on, in certain ways for possibly Stank Nation ideals. So I think you're right. The bigger players are more apt to get hurt, and that's why you're proposing that we should take Fleming instead of Malak in what you're saying here. You say he has the same wingspan. He may be quicker and stuff, but I'm going to say this right now, and I said this the other day, Mister. I want a true plus 7-foot center. Koloko was a certain role on our team that we lost, and I want a guy that can get more up there with Victor, Zach Edey, and Chet Holmgren, and people like that. In some ways, you're not just going to need a regular center. You're going to need a plus-size center at a certain point in the NBA with people like Oliver Ryu coming. So I don't even know if he'll make the league. I'm just saying, I want a plus 7-footer on this team also, partly because of Victor, partly because of the direction the league's going. And, to have a guy like Malak out there with Poeltl at times will help us against a team like Cleveland and some of these other bigger teams that have big skilled players like Allen and Mobley. So I'm going to respectfully continue to be in the Common Malak camp. But who knows? Maybe we can debate and talk more about this a little bit more as the draft comes up, and you may be able to sway me, Jay. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I know you're on Fleming and you're liking him more. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll revisit these guys closer to the draft and we'll do a really in-depth look over on these guys and some Thursday think tanks, some more instant scouts, stuff like that. We'll be talking about this. Oh yeah. Fiercely saying too crowded is a problem when egos and lack of chemistry are present. Our team is stacked, so the current roster can stay. I believe in them. I just hope we get a solid big instead of PJ Tucker. Lex, I'm not going tonight. Okay, she's not going to the game. Okay. Yeah, it's PJ Tucker is just going to come off the books. We don't pay for him. Miami's paying for him. It's just a move for roster moves, so they had him extra space, and we don't care about that roster spot in some ways. Is we can have a Deadwood's roster spot with PJ Tucker sitting in it. And like we said, Bobby and Messiah are a little bit playing chicken with him, and they're coming at each other in the cars down the road. Who's going to divert and pull off the road first? And that may be PJ. Who knows? I guess PJ's not worried about playing. He's not upset about just sitting at home and collecting his check. So maybe he won't jump out of the chicken game, and he'll just go ahead and go right through and just take the money, and then he's off the books in the summer. So there's nothing involved with PJ Tucker that's actually newsworthy or important or anything affecting the Raptors right now. In some ways, he's money coming off the books on the salary cap for next year. And hey, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. I think the too crowded problem is a problem with egos. Yes. When there's a couple of guys, and maybe it's a couple of the superstars that are at the top, maybe two of the top 5 guys on the team do not like each other. There can be big problems. There can be big problems. But if these guys are together and they're locked in, Brandon's enjoying the vibes. Brandon's enjoying being around the Raptors. Scotty twists his ankle. He's leaving the court. Well, Brandon's dapping Scotty and saying, "You'll be all right, big fella." And well, maybe that touch helped because Scotty came back to the court. He could play, and he's not listed on the injury report today. So this is good. Scotty's ankle was just a little bit of a misstep on his own step, and it affect him and put him on the injury list. It was like that way that Vince kind of described it during the game. He's saying if there was somebody else involved, and when Scotty twisted his ankle on Friday, it may have been more painful because of the weight of the person, but he wasn't touching anybody, and he just misstepped and he caught it back. And you know how that is when you just kind of twist your ankle on your own. That's easier to walk off and come back and play like he did. And there were no lingering injuries so that he had to miss any games, which is fantastic. I'm sad about Victor missing out on the 65-game threshold because he will not win Defensive Player of the Year this year. In some ways, he totally deserved to be Defensive Player of the Year this year. But because of his injury and being shut down for the rest of the year because of blood clots, he will miss out on the postseason awards. I hate this so much. We don't like this. We don't like this. No, we don't. No, we don't. So we're saying, I still think the Jazz get the first overall pick, Cooper Flagg, like the Spurs with Victor. Well, we'll just have to see. I could see them also directing him directly to the Wizards because in some ways that's just perfect. The Wizards. Yeah, I could see him on the Wizards. Neil saying Pirtle can play. Front office is holding him out. Read the tea leaves. Pirtle can play. Front office. Oh, you're saying, yeah, that he can play. Yeah. He practiced on Wednesday, no contact. Then he practiced on Thursday with contact. And then he was a game day decision the night before. Actually, they called him out for sure on Thursday night. And then he just wasn't in the mix to play. But now they're saying he's questionable and that he has a possibility to play today. Well, Neil, we'll just have to monitor this. We get word later that no, Jakob's still not going to play today. Well, maybe it is what you're saying. Maybe it is what it's saying. A little bit of manipulation to hurt us to win. They did this that whole season in Tampa by giving us joke centers like Len and Baines, and didn't really get any good centers. Well, that really hurt the Raptors' ability to win. In some ways, once again, the lack of a true center for the Raptors is sometimes a signifier that the Messiah and Bobby are not trying to win. And in some ways, after Serge and Mark left, they were doomed that whole year. I mean, they honestly wanted Aaron Baines to step up and do something. I thought Alex Len was better than Baines, but they didn't choose him, and Len got mad and he left. But then when we got Kem Birch later in the year and Freddie Gillespie, we finally started winning again because those guys were more capable at center. So this is a move, yes. I'll say that this is a subtle thing that they will do sometimes to try and manipulate the possibility that they have a higher chance of losing. So, yeah, we'll have to see. Neil's saying that PJ Tucker will be bought out closer to May. I don't know if he will be. I don't even know if they'll do this. I don't think they have to do anything. That's what I'm saying. He could just sit there and they don't do nothing with him. And it just happens this way. All right. Trevor's going to give me my cue for the Instagram stories. which I'm going to go do right now. First, we got Morris Peterson. He's at a Michigan State Spartans event with a youngster talking. I'm not sure who that is talking, but they're saying something. I guess it's Mateen Cleaves was posted this, and it's a repost by Morris Peterson, proud alumni of Flint, Michigan's Michigan State Spartans. And yeah, they had some sort of event last night. Jamal Shed is putting on Dennis Jenkins of the Motor City Cruise, an old friend of his who got 41 points for the Motor City Cruise, 8 3-pointers made, 7 rebounds and 8 assists. And Jamal's encouraging him, say tink, brother. You wildin'. There you go. He's going to make it someday. In other news and notes, Marquise Noel of the Rio Grande Vipers last night got 44 points in his G League game. That's right. Our little guy, Marquise, originally a Raptor, got 44 points in the G League game last night, y'all. I'm really proud of Marquise for doing that. It was against the Memphis Hustle and David Johnson. So you go on, Marquise Noel. We love you up in Toronto still. I know you're moved on, you're somewhere else, but you're part of our history. And I was happy to have you on our team for that bit of time that we had you. Too bad you got hurt. But it's very cool to see that you're in good shape and you got 44 in the G League game last night. That's amazing, Marquise Noel. Broke Baby Stunna has got more for his cousin, Lisa Lee. So he's saying happy birthday to her. And they're saying you don't get an award for being real, some sort of podcast there. I don't know who that is. Toronto Tempo Sephora boxes are going out. You can get a Toronto Tempo cross promotion with Sephora and get some cool stickers, nice bags, a hat, and other cool stuff. Some Sephora products in it. It's a really cool cross promotion. And, well, this is cool, man. You want to get Sephora stuff from them. And also it looks like the Toronto Tempo people were down at MLSE Launchpad and promoting the Tempo with the children at that facility. A couple days after the Raptors came through, Tempo personnel are down there hanging out at MLSE Launchpad yesterday with the kids. I love to see that. Of course, the GM, Monica, was there, and Teresa to be there with them. They're putting on blast for Black History Month today. Krista Inyo Yukon, and they're saying we asked her what's been a barrier she's had to overcome along her coaching journey, and here's what she had to say. One significant barrier I faced on my coaching journey was navigating the challenges of being taken seriously in a predominantly male environment. There were times when officials would primarily connect with my male assistant coaches or counterparts, which made me feel overlooked. However, this experience motivated me to educate myself further and build my confidence. I actively sought mentorship from those who recognize my potential, which has been instrumental in my growth. While it can be tiring at times, I've learned to stay true to myself and trust in the work I put in, knowing that my passion for coaching, I can't read the last part. This is what I'm talking about with, inclusiveness and diversity and equality. She has so many more hurdles to just being taken seriously as a Black woman in coaching. And that's what we're talking about here. I think that the anti-DEI people just don't get this. In some ways, they're just racist. In some ways, you could say, I'm anti-DEI. Why don't you just tell us you're a racist or ableist or somebody who's hates women? Or, you could just tell us that. Because in some ways, people that are anti-DEI and are plotting what the U.S. government is doing right now, it's really just a mask for white supremacy, honestly. That's what I'm going to say right there. Yeah, I said it. I said it in clear words exactly what the hell it is. Even if people don't want to say it themselves or the people that are all into it, you are white supremacists and you're anti-women, you're anti-disabled, and you're anti-minorities is what I'm saying to the people this morning. Yeah, why don't you just call it what you are? You're racist if you're anti-DEI. Because you don't understand. These people that are getting the DEI hires, they're not just because of their status of whatever makes them different. It's because they're good at their job to the level that they deserve to be in there, and the opportunities weren't given to them easily. They've overcome a lot of doors closed in their face to be qualified enough to be there. This lady who's coaching this team, you think she's not a good coach? She strived and went across all the obstacles, all the opposite of privilege that wasn't given to her, and she overcame it and became what she became. That's what I'm talking about right there. I don't think people understand that enough. And, well, we'll talk about it here. That's right. There's Slim Duck, who's got a Slim Duck Foundation stuff going on, and he's got a nice speaker there, and they just had an event recently. Chris Boucher is supporting STEM initiatives for education for youth in Canada and in areas of Montreal and places around Canada where kids aren't getting the right resources. RJ Barrett has a nice action shot of him. Puma Hoops shoes dribbling down the court, and also advertising Sports Check, the Canadian athletic store, on his thing. And there's a dunk that he threw down against Atlanta. I'd love to see the RJ pictures. Norman Powell has got a giveaway with the Clippers for courtside sheets he's doing right now. There's a really cool Understand the Grind hoodie. He's fully wholesaling right now, as Pascal said. Yeah, there's all kinds of Understand the Grind gear like crazy. Jay Nathan had a little speaking engagement after the game with a crowd. I'm not sure who he was talking to. It looks like some youth. So really cool to see Mobo being a mentor for the youth and talking to them. I'm not sure what group that is that was there to hear him. There's some action photos from the Caribbean night on Friday night. Yeah, it was a good game, good vibes, but unfortunately they didn't win, and that's too bad. Let's see, is there anything else? There's Grady. Grady's been putting on blast Ray-Bans for some reason. He's been wearing his glasses around All-Star Weekend, and I think he may have an endorsement deal with Ray-Bans. There's the footage of George St. Pierre at the practice yesterday. Jama introducing him, coming in, and Scotty was looking like he was ready to fight. He had his hands taped up, and he looked like he was ready to fight. And he saw George come in. He's scared of him. He's like, no, I'm leaving. I'm not going to be in here with him. No, this guy's like ready to fight. And he's like, nope. He's like, he takes off. He takes off. I'm not fighting this guy. We found out in the last couple of days, thank you, Monique, for sharing this with me, that the mysterious egg that I saw a couple weeks ago, it had shoes in it. There's a special 30th anniversary shoes for the Raptors 30th anniversary that come in that egg, and they're limited editions. So these are really rare shoes that came out in that weird egg that was in the advertising the Raptors were putting out recently. Kalani Jewelers also has a really cool Raptors gold piece that they're showing being made on the Raptors official admin. And there's 30 years with they're talking about the movies that came out recently, prehistoric to historic, and then also Inbound. And the movie theater is really successful. A lot of people went to these movies this weekend, apparently, and watched the doubleheader and really, really enjoyed it. One person on Reddit was saying this theater is packed, and there's a ton of people here to see this double feature at theaters for limited time. So go check it out. It's only from the 21st to 24th. So today and tomorrow, the last 2 days, you can go see these two movies at Cineplex like this. Of course, it'll be released in some sort of form, and we'll probably all be able to watch it in some sort of way at some point if you don't go to the theater in the next day or so. There you go. They're showing Toronto showing that the new general manager, Monica Wright Rogers, is at MLSE working with the youth and teaching them stuff already at the MLSE Launchpad. That's fantastic to see. I love that stuff. Yeah, she's got I wonder about GM Monica, if she's already projecting into the things she's got to look at, and she's already looking at college players. She's already looking at the rosters of the WNBA teams and kind of speculating on who's going to be exposed in the expansion draft and who may be possible. And I wonder if she's already kind of tinkering in her head with the ideas of what the nucleus and the first look of the Toronto Tempo players is going to look like. And maybe she has some very interesting philosophies as a general manager about what style of play she wants to build, or maybe what kind of players. In some ways, it may be what's best available talent and what she has to do with the expansion draft and the draft itself. So we'll have to see. I'm very curious to learn the personality of Monica Wright Rogers as a GM and how she builds the roster of the Toronto Tempo as we start this inaugural WNBA team in Canada. I love the whole process, and I love being here from the start to really cover it and be there with them from the ground up. And I'm excited. I'm really, really getting more and more excited about it. Kelly Olynyk showing a pass on his Instagram. He threw a half-court lob to Zion, and Zion caught it and threw it down. So there you go. Maybe Zion's getting a couple more lob passes from our guy, Captain Canada, Kelly Olynyk down there. Of course, Kelly has a picture of him coming in the game with Bruce Brown. Bruce is wearing his cowboy hat and all black. The former Raptors still together down there, and they were playing against Dallas. And there were a lot of Kelly fans all over the place still. The Kelly fans were in Toronto also supporting him at the Raptors game, and also on the road. You can see them when he goes to places. So Canada loves you, Kelly, and we're sad that you're not a Raptor anymore. But you know what? You were a Raptor. You fulfilled the dream, and you're going to be alumni forever now. That's right. There's Bruno Fernando in an airport going somewhere. I don't know where he's going. And then AJ Lawson, let's see, what has he got on there? No, his stories have been deleted, so they're not there anymore. There's your Instagram stories right there. right there. Thank you, Trevor, for the cue. Chris comes saying, I got to say, I like what we have plus a high draft pick more than any foundation ever in Raptors history. Am I on my own in this thinking? Chriscom, this is a fantastic comment, and I think you're right. I think that the Raptors and their positioning with Ingram in the fold now and everything fitting and the possibility of getting another high draft pick this year, we are looking really poised for next year and making jumps up the Eastern Conference standings. As a lot of people have said recently, the East is weak. We look and see how many teams in the East are actually above 500 with a record right now at this point in the season. Well, that says it's right for the picking. In some ways, it's almost like the Eastern Conference knows the Raptors are rightfully supposed to be one of the top 6 teams in the Eastern Conference every year. So they're holding our spot. There's a spot up there for us to go back and get it next year. And I'm with Chriscom. He says out of the whole entire time of the Raptors, the one time that I felt like this maybe a long time ago was when we got Olajuwon that summer. We had just re-signed Antonio Davis, Alvin Williams, and the JYD. And we had a really, really good free agency signing. And then we got Akeem on top of that. And we still had Vince at that time. And when we were coming in that season, I was like, ooh, we're stacked. Of course, I didn't know the dream was going to be a dream in our uniform and not really show up in a full Akeem Olajuwon kind of power. But that summer, I had a very similar kind of feeling how I'm going to feel this summer. I feel like very, very much optimistic that a lot of good things are coming for the Raptors because we lined everybody up and brought them back, Williams and Davis, and then we got Olajuwon. So that may be the other time where I felt like this before Chriscom. But you're right. This may be the most ever in history. It's very promising. In fact, we didn't know that Akeem was going to be like that. And that was the downfall of that whole thing going really well. But this one seems like it's more of a sure bet because in some ways there's a lot of chicken eggs that aren't all in one basket. These eggs are in different places. And, certain people get hurt. Well, we got other guys and a bunch of talent that, these guys are going to step up. Jacoby and Grady are great young prospects coming up. And then we have a great starting 5 and the prospect of a top 10 draft pick. Yeah. Future's real bright. That's right. People were saying this, Timbuck3. That's right. Kareem saying, I want Malak on our team so bad. He's the last piece in the puzzle moving forward. I don't know if he's the last piece, but he'd be a nice quality piece for us to acquire. I want a true center. I want a plus 7-foot center because Zach Edey's in this league now. And we need something for that. That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Blackhawk saying Asa Newell is a better fit for the Raptors timeline. Malak has had more development on Basketball Without Borders than Duke. Yeah, I don't know deep stuff on them. And obviously, we're not going to know as much as our guy Masai and Bobby. And those guys, they'll know. And we'll see what they do. I'm just saying from what I've seen, this is the guy I like. This is the most true center in the top 10. And honestly, that's what I want, a true center. I want a true center. I want more depth there. If it's a 4 or 5, a 4, more of a 4 than a 5, I mean, I'll be okay with that too. But honestly, in Queen, Fleming, these guys are fine. Newell, yeah, these guys are fine. But I really do want Malak. I really, really do. I really, really do. I'm with Kareem. I want him so bad. I really do. Yeah. Let's see. Infamous is saying, I hope we don't get the number 1 pick, dude. The financial hit, and we will be forced to take Flag. Ace Bailey is a sleeper. Flag is a system player. Yeah, this is another thing that the Tank Nation never talks about that they probably should. In some ways, it's not good for us to get a top 5 pick because of the money brackets and the pay that goes to the rookie. Now, if you get a number 1 pick, that's going to screw up our salary cap. We're going to go into luxury tax, and it's going to be so hard for us to manage the team with extra players that are going to fill out the roster. In some ways, if we get a 6 through 10 pick, that's a lot lower, and it's more manageable for the salary cap in this way. This is something that nobody talks about in Tank Nation. That it's like, yeah, ping pong balls matter, but you know what also matters? Having flexibility and the ability to make moves with your roster because you don't have to pay a number one pick money. That's what I'm saying right there. It's a little jammed up. And I mean, in some ways, Jacoby Walter getting picked at 19 instead of like a top 10 pick. Well, he's at a discount because the pay rate is lower for being 19. But you got a talent that's in the top 10 and you're paying it. I mean, does that sound like good management? When you get a top 10 talent like Jacoby Walter on your team, but you get him at a 19th pick rate. I'm just saying that's part of the reason why I tell Raptors fans we shouldn't care about ping pong balls, because in some ways it's in our favor to get value if we pick lower in the draft, because Masai and Bobby going to find them anyway, and we'll have to pay less to get top quality players. Like Grady Dick could have been the 8th or 7th pick in his draft, but he fell to 13. And in some ways we had to pay him less at 13 than somebody would have had to pay him at 7. So that is something that people don't talk enough about. And Infamous is going to dunk for bringing this up. The financial hit of a number 1 pick is a lot more heavy on your salary cap. So here we go. Let's see where Infamous is with the dunks this year, because this is something nobody brings up enough. They really, really don't. And it's something all right, he's getting his first dunk of the year. This is your first dunk, Infamous, for the year. You're at 3 points on the dunk chart for 2025. Yeah, I completely agree with them on this. And this is an argument that I have not used it yet against Tank Nation, but I'm going to start using it more because Infamous reminded me of it. That's right. Dak Canadian's here. Good to see Dak Canadian, a longtime Raptor freak. Good to see him here, man. Said it before. If we get Bailey and Malak, and we are set. I don't know if how we're going to get 2 top 10 picks. That'd be crazy. And once again, I think Ace Bailey is not going to be worth the money because of what I just talked about. He's going to have to be in the top 5. And I don't know if we can pay 2 first-round picks, top 10 guys, that kind of money. Are you saying either them or them? You want to get both? I don't know how that's possible. I really don't. We got 1 first-round pick in the lottery. We're not going to get a second one. We won't trade all kinds of stuff just to get a second first-round pick. So I don't see this happening. Good to see you back, though, man. Really good to see you back. Kareem saying Malak on Duke is a joke. His potential is way better than what we get to see while he's playing with Flag. Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, listen, listen, when I do these scouts, I'm not caring about, all right, I do take into account who they're playing. If it seems like it's a Division II squad and they look real good against it, I was like, okay, this is not the best competition to gauge this guy by if we can play in the NBA. Now, I'll look at a guy, I'll look at their frame, I'll look at their body, I'll look at the way they move, and that's what I'm judging people on. I like everything I saw about Malak. Now, I get it. He's on a very good team with a lot of players in Duke, and they're going to enhance him and make him look better. There is a Duke effect, and we have brought this up on this chat. It may have been you that's brought it up. But I'm still saying, when I scout these players, I scout them on their physicality of their physical skills and then their mechanics. And in some ways, yeah, I have to take into account when I do that, the competition that they're playing against and also the team that they play on. But everything I saw with Malak is like good stuff, good stuff. Well, I like the fact that he's a very, very good shot blocker. And also he's got offensive skills and he'll be able to score for us at the other end. A two-way center like that is very, very, very good and valuable to have. And especially one that can get up and down the floor at a decent ability to get up and down the floor. He's not a slow guy. That's the other thing I like about him a lot. Let's see. Stargate saying funny. I think Queen is the best fit. Laugh out loud. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. Well, this could be a really fun Thursday Think Tank call-in show closer to the draft. And we could do a debate and just straight up debate it. And who knows? I may go deeper on the highlight reels and really take an even deeper look at Common Malak, Queen, Fleming, all the guys you guys are talking about that are around the 4 or 5 in the top 10 picks. Yeah, we'll look at all of them. Let's see. Blackhawks saying top 5 pick is good problem. I think Queen is shorter than advertised. Yeah, that may be true. That may be true. In some ways, it is what it is. I really do want physical height. I really do want that 7'2", though. I really, really do. I don't know if top 5 pick is a good problem to have. I'm actually want the Raptors to pick from 6 to 10. I don't want them in the top 5. And it's really a lot of what we just talked about with financial considerations with the cap and how much that first round pick is going to have to be paid when they come. Seriously, it's a big difference. It's a very big difference between the first pick and the 7th pick, how much they get paid. Let's see. No swearing Sunday is Comma Crazy. You know what, Comma Crazy, for reminding me of no swearing. I may have swore a little bit today, but I didn't really swear a whole lot. I'm going to give you your first dunk of the year. Comma Crazy, you got 3 points in your first dunk of the year for admonishing me and telling me no swearing Sunday, sir. I always think of you as like Grandpa Simpson yelling at the fingers. Hey, don't you do that swearing there, Bart Simpson. Eat my shorts. Is that swearing? I don't know. Does that count today? I don't know. Let's see. He said Scotty shitting his pants over Ingram. What do you mean? He's happy about it. Yeah, he's not like, man, I hope he didn't eat anything where he has the Hershey squirts. That's no good. We don't want that for Scott. We want the best things for him. No, I don't know. Why are you putting profanity in here? You came in and you said no swearing Sunday, and you just used the S word. What is going on here, Comma Crazy? I guess he's crazy. But, Scotty's very happy about Ingram. He's very, very happy. I mean, Scott is on cloud nine. Haven't you noticed Scotty's just a happy dude? He's happier than he's ever been on the Raptors. He's younger. He's kind of feeling things out. His rookie years, being around the old guard of the Raptors team and learning under them for a while. Now that it's his show, he's really flourishing and very, very much on cloud nine. I think some of it has to do in the past year with his new child and his relationship, that he's in a good place and he's got a really strong foundation of support in that way. And I think that in some ways, the dad effect that's happened to Scott is on the down low. We haven't really talked about it that much, that in some ways, Scotty's playing for a different reason because he has a child. I don't even know if the child is a male or female. I have no idea anything about Scotty's kid, and I don't need to know. But we saw the Freddie effect in the playoffs when Fred VanVleet Jr. was born. And, I think on the down low, part of the excellence in the going after it and blocking shots and playing like Tim Duncan more is Scotty's motivated more than ever to play at a very high level, not just because it's his show as the franchise player and they believe in him and they designated him this, and he takes that all very seriously. Trust me. He told me himself personally that they invested the money and the leadership in him with the change in the guard, with the trades last year and the extension that he signed last summer. On Twitch, we saw him and he said, I take this contract very, very seriously. My duty to help the Raptors win the next championship. And I'm not messing around. He's not trying to be like Luka. Let's just put it that way. And I think that the baby effect has had an effect on him on the down low. We're not even talking about that. That in some ways he's playing for somebody else other than just himself. He's playing for that kid. Yeah, I think that's true. Cream saying Malak is the best center in the draft. His body frame is like David Robinson at 18. McQueen and Bailey are not real bangers in the paint. Well, I think Bailey's really slight of frame, and in some ways he's a finesse player. He would be like a Bargnani or a Bosch to me. And in some ways we know that route of having a big man that's just shies away from physicality and in some ways isn't ready to mix it up like that. That's not a winning formula right there. In some ways, people could be all in awe of Ace Bailey for this reason or that reason. But I'll tell you right there, that is a flaw right there, what I just said. And because he looks really slender and not very long, not very thick. He may be long. He maybe have a good wingspan. But Ace Bailey, in some ways, is going to have defensive problems in certain ways, guys. And it may be like Victor's defensive problems where he gets bodied out down low and he's ineffective when they're really close. And people take it to Victor right down low. They can bump him off and they can score on him because he's strong. They're stronger than him. And that could be a problem with Bailey as far as the defensive prognostications for him in the NBA is that he's a slender frame and he may get pushed around a lot, like Chet Holmgren also. Yeah, that's what I'm saying right there. As far as saying Ace is also shorter than advertised. Yeah. Info is saying with Ingram, we have elite closer. That final shot in the Miami game goes to Ingram, and he's thin. Yeah. I think that Brandon Ingram is going to be very much going to do like stuff that Kevin Durant was doing in the middle of his career. Not what he's been doing lately, because like I said, since he went to Brooklyn, he left Golden State, he checked out on his career, and he's not trying as hard as he used to. He's very happy just collecting checks. He got his championships with Golden State. And in some ways, he's accomplished as an Olympic player and all this kind of stuff. In some ways, he's not motivated to win at the highest level at this point. But Brandon is. Brandon ain't won jack shit. And Brandon has a similar skill set to Kevin Durant in some ways. That's what I want to see. I want to see Maple Durant in some ways with Brandon Ingram up here, like just going off and being like a Canadian version of, well, he's not Canadian, so he can't be Maple, but some sort of form of Kevin Durant on the scale of Kevin Durant is what I want to see with Brandon Ingram. We know how Kevin used to take over games and absolutely score a whole ton of points to help his teams win. And that's what I see possible with BI3. That's what I'm saying right there. Neil's saying Asa has outplayed Malak and Queen when they went up against them. That's interesting. It may be just a matchup. Now, I don't always go by that. It's not like this is two men enter the arena and one man leaves and they're the winner. You know, you could get beat by somebody and they could be the worst person for you to play, but you're absolutely the best choice for the team anyway. It's just that these people may be a bad matchup for them. So I won't go on this 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, and we will choose the one who wins as the better player. No, we can't judge prospects that way. Because even think about it, man. Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell, when they were coming up, in college, maybe Bill Russell beat the crap out of Wilt Chamberlain. Now, did you still say, no, I don't want Wilt Chamberlain on my team? No. You can't go by this. I'm going to say that right now. You can't go by this and saying, well, this is what happened in the game, that he beat them in this game. You just don't do this. Don't do this. It's not a good way to decide who you should get. Seriously. In some ways, it's about fit and its prospective body type and different things like that is more important than actually the battle on the court and who won the battle. Seriously, it's not as important to me. Because, Bill Russell shut down Wilt Chamberlain. But does that mean, he beat him that night? Does that mean you don't want to get Wilt Chamberlain on your team? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Let's see. Where was that comment right there? Hang on. I lost my place. I'm going to come back. Okay. Wayne's saying, morning, Raptor Freaks. Let's wrap up February and just play good basketball. Still think a truly talented ball handler would be nice. Orlando's growth is going to be positional play in the key, hopefully. You're talking about Orlando Robinson. Yeah, I got to worry about when you guys say his name, whether you're talking about a franchise or the player. Growth is going to be positional play in the key, hopefully. Man, I don't really, in some ways with Orlando Robinson, he's great to have on our team, and I'm glad he's around. And, if he develops and he gets better in any kind of ways, that's great. But in some ways, I don't have a lot of eggs in his basket for the future. It could very well be he's a part-timer that's around just for now, and we can upgrade that position and have somebody else, like maybe Malak comes in and takes Orlando Robinson's spot next year. So in some ways, I get it. I want all our players to progress and get better, and that's what Darko says the key goal for the rest of the year. But in some ways, the investment in Orlando Robinson for the long term, I don't know if it's necessary because I don't know if he's going to be long term. Let's just put it that way. How about that? But if he does grow and he does latch on, I'd be very happy for him if he's around and for a long time. But let's just say that the chances for his position and what he's doing and what he's actually doing on the court, he's an easy upgrade. That we could get somebody else to be in that position next year, and that will make our team better. Because it's a player that may be a little bit more talented. Maybe Malak is what I'm saying. Yeah. I agree with you. Let's wrap up February and just play really, really well. Play ethical basketball, play the right way, do the right things on each and every play as much as we can, and just practice winning basketball. If it adds up to winning against Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, that's fantastic. But if it doesn't, well, we got development against some of the best in the league. Kevin Durant. That's right. Trevor's saying Masai and Bobby went out of their way to get each and every one of those guys to be on this team. You guys have to be drunk thinking that they're going to let anyone, billionaires have no problem to pay more. Yeah, so Trevor's very much standing up for the fact that there's no reason for Raptors Nation to talk about who needs to leave now because Brandon is here. There's enough for everybody. We're going to make this work. And they've told this. It's like Masai said, Brandon is a part of our future. He said that about all these guys. He said this about Emmanuel. He said this about Grady. He said this about Scotty. He said this about Jakob. And he said this about RJ also. These guys are all under contract and locked down now. It's like we don't have to really worry about any free agents for like the next 2 or 3 years. Maybe RJ in 2 years from now. But most of these guys are locked down for like 3 or 4 years right now. And that's really a good thing. So we got a lot of time to try and develop and get better over this time, and we'll see who earns the bigger contracts and sticks around. And maybe some of these guys there will be tough decisions, but I don't see these tough decisions for at least 2 or 3 years, guys. I really don't. And Mike could probably back me up on the way it all fits with the salary cap long-term projected as far as, keeping this band together when the new contracts come up, because they're all locked down for a certain point. And Scotty and Emmanuel just got their extensions. Brandon's on for 3 years. And like I said, RJ's on a contract for at least another 2 or 3 years also. So let's see. Kareem saying he's outplayed him because schematics. Duke doesn't utilize Common the way he's supposed to. I'm sure if Malak played for Georgia, he would average 20, 10, and 5 blocks. See, that's part of what I was trying to say earlier. As far as you can't really gauge them in head-to-head matchups in these kind of games. Sure, maybe in one-on-one plays, he could beat him in certain ways because he's got the skill. But that's what I'm saying. In some ways, you can't totally do it that way. And what Kareem's saying is part of backing that up right there. Let's see. Infamous saying, Trevor J, I agree 100%. Yeah, Bobby is not messing around. They've got a whole lot of organization and how they look at everything, and they understand their salary cap right down to every little detail very intimately. Trust me. Bobby Webster's a GM in the NBA. He's a GM, not you guys at home, not you people on Reddit, not you people on Facebook, not you people in Zazu Spaces. Y'all aren't GMs. Bobby Webster is. He knows all about the job really, really well. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's not trying to make any mistakes and trying to make some sort of problem for later where we shouldn't have invested this and this and this. Now we have to make a crazy ass decision and it's going to screw our team up. That's poor GMing. And we don't have a poor GM. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. Trust in Bobby is what I'm saying right now. That's right. Neil's saying that whoever gets Malak will have to put an extra year of development because of the way Duke limits him. Well, in some ways, that's not a big deal. You know, we got Shamshe in the pipeline already. I think that Malak may be right around where Shamshe is, maybe, or maybe a little ahead of him, because in some ways Shamshe's younger and he's, you know, he needs a lot of, Shamshe's going to need like 2 or 3 years, I think, before he's really a solid rotation player for the Raptors. And maybe that him and Malak are coming up at the same time. And that could be very, very interesting for shot blocking for the Raptors in the next couple of years. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Let's see. Kareem saying Malak is basically what we want to see Shamshe in 2 years from now. Crazy thing is, Common is a year younger than Shamshe, more polished. I don't know if they're exactly the same player. No. In some ways, if they're going to line up in the lineup, Malak is the center and Shamshe can play power forward. And in some ways, you know, if you got guys like Pirtle and Malak around, Shamshe could actually possibly transform into like a forward more and maybe even a small forward. Like you can look at the path of Giannis and think about Giannis's position. It's been a couple different places. He's played center at times. Giannis has had to play center at times, but most of the time he's power forward and even small forward. We can be a big team and put Elrish Shamshe at small forward at some point. That'd be crazy if we were able to do that. It's not totally likely. It's probably very likely he's going to have to be a 4 or a 5, but who knows? That's what I'm saying right there. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to watch more Malak to really gauge him against Shamshe, but I think that they're very apples and oranges. Shamshe has way more potential in certain ways than Malak offensively in certain ways, but they're very different player types. They really, really are. And I like both of them to be on our team. Both of them. We already got Shamshe. Let's go get Malak. Let's see. Blackhawk saying Scotty saw the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He knows what GSP can do. Yeah, he's an MMA fighter fan. He really does love the MMA. And yeah, and GSP is very much a legend in that sport. He really is. And he's awesome. In some ways, he's had some tarnishment to his legacy, but in some ways also, like, he's such a celebrated Canadian champion. And it's smart for Darko to get this guy to come down and speak to the Raptors about mentality and competing. It's just really, really smart. You know, Nick used to do those seminars where Cory Booker would come in and talk to the team and different people with speakers would come and talk. And it's good to see that Darko continues that kind of stuff. And that they get good quality people like GSP talking to the Raptors and encouraging them and teaching them. I think that's so smart. Stargate saying Neil, but that's college, those college teams and systems. What I look for is who's the best fit for both the talent of the Raptors and with Darko's type of system. Yeah. In some ways you've got to project what is this person going to look like against NBA size and speed. And then you got to project, do they have skills that are utilized in the NBA that are useful? Because there's a lot of these players that I'll scout and I'll be like, yeah, this guy does this, but this is not going to work in the NBA. He's not going to be able to do this, you know? So in some ways, it's really weird. When I do my scout of the day, I may not be looking at the same things that some people would look at. A lot of it is I'm looking at wingspan, I'm looking at footwork, I'm looking at shot mechanics, I'm looking at potential for them to grow and build muscle, things like that. And in some ways, that's more important than actual success on the court. With what they're doing, because, you know, anybody who's coming in the league, they can be really bad shooters and they can become good shooters. That's what they knocked on Scotty. Say, oh, don't get Scotty, he can't shoot. This guy gonna work on it and he's gonna get better as a shooter. So you got to look at potential in those kind of things. And sometimes physical potential is the most important thing
to look at a player. You can look at Reed Shepherd or Marquise Noel and say, man, this guy's going to have a really hard time making the NBA because of how tall they are. It's the same kind of thinking in that with arm length, whatever, shoulders, ability to hold positioning already. You know, you got Yves Missy. You're going to see him in college. You're like, yeah, this dude's going to be able to play in the NBA because he's got the physicality to match other people already coming out of college, out of Baylor. So it's that kind of stuff we're looking at. It's that kind of stuff. Stargate saying, from my perspective, Queen and Malak are better fits with who the Raptors currently have and the system Darko runs. Yeah, we're going to revisit these guys for sure. I'm going to do a refresher on this, probably closer to like in the playoffs. Because the playoffs, I'm going to be starved to have content when the Raptors games are not going to be going on anymore. And we're going to need to cover heavy on the draft. And so in some ways, I want to focus on the season now because there's going to be a lot of time for me to cover the draft right before it. And I'll have to because I'll need the subjects for content. So let's see. Wayne's saying, don't know about that, Trevor. Jay, OG, Pascal, and Fred all gone because of money. I think it might be that the NBA put salary caps on salary caps as well on teams. Raptors find, develop value, and then trade. Wayne, I don't want to be jaded on this and say this seriously, because honestly, they're not saying this at this point. There were no nods that they wanted to keep that contingency of guys that you just named for the long term. In some ways, there's more nods in what they're saying right now. In some ways, Bobby and Masai will say exactly what they're planning to do. And in some ways, they never really committed to saying, yeah, we're going to have Siakam here for a long, long time. We're going to have Fred here for a long, long time. They never say that, but they're saying that about these guys right now. And, you know, I don't know if the money thing is going to be an issue, especially if there's an upward trend with Darko's coaching and his system and getting more wins as we go. Keith Pelley is going to be more like, yeah, keep investing in this. We're seeing great positive change, and we want to see you guys win and do a good job, and you're doing a fantastic job. So we'll just have to stay optimistic about this, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I trust Bobby Masai will manage it to the best of their ability with whatever they got to do. Blackhawk saying, talent is uncultured with Malak. He started basketball late, so he has a lot of ground to cover. This makes Malak a project. Raptors may not have room on main roster for projects with BI and Scotty. Well, I don't know if this is true. The 905 is a fantastic place. It really, really is. Let's just put it that way. Stargate saying, funny, I view Asa as a project as well. Let's just agree to disagree. I like all the discourse on the draft, but we're playing the Suns today. Let's go talk about the Suns for a little bit. That's right. Neil saying, this is why I can see Jakob staying as our starting center and O-Rob as the backup. Shamshe and Malak would have to bake on 905. There's nothing wrong with this. And we'd have options. And that'd be great because, like, that's kind of where Koloko should have been right now, is he should have been kind of like an auxiliary center to have just in case of injury. And he's learning and coming up. But sadly, he's not on our team anymore for weird reasons. But, yeah, in some ways, I still want to make up Koloko, and that's another reason why I value Common. Let's see. Kareem saying Common isn't a project. He would be Jakob's backup. Sorry for the crosstalk, Lex. No, it's all right. You guys are having a lively discussion, and you guys are on topic. There's nothing wrong with it. I think that he's more right on this. I think that Malak can actually play in the big league, and I don't think he's going to be as much of a project as you guys think. And partly it's because his body's already NBA ready. And in some ways, you can't teach height and wingspan, and this dude could come out and make a factor. And in fact, he has more bulk to him than Koloko had. And in some ways, you can look at Koloko's rookie year with us and say, well, this is how much Koloko was able to help. And, well, Malak probably could do about the same. Seriously, he could probably do about the same. Wayne's saying off the rails with all the cloud GMs. Yeah, people just need to stick to their job and it's being a fan. Blackhawk saying Malak is not a starting center. You'll end up back in the lottery that way. Jakob stays if the goal is playoffs. No, I'm not saying get rid of Jakob. Once again, we got to stop saying just because we bring people in, we got to get rid of people, like the mentality with Brandon Ingram right now. No, we got Ingram. It's all fitting. We can get Malak, and we can keep Jakob too. So we can figure this out, and Bobby will. Kareem saying at Wayne, I can't even GM my household. My 2 20-year-olds and wife is bringing me over the cat every year. Oh! Every once in a while, Kareem will come in with this out of the blue, crazy ass. I hear this. He hears you. I hear him too. I'm going to hear him to the point where he's got a dunk because he made me laugh out loud on that one. He can't even GM his house with his 20-year-olds and his wife. Spending over the cap.
putting him in the luxury tax. You better watch out for that second apron. It's hanging over there in the kitchen. Look out. Go grab it real quick, Kareem, before somebody spins over it. He's grabbing all the aprons off the wall. I don't want y'all going over the apron. So good. So good. That dunk was best, man. Neil saying O-Rob is more baked than Malak. Baked. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Oof. Okay. Malak has to learn the NBA way. Zach Edey stayed multiple years in college, so his transition is better. Malak has 1 year of college, and he's less than 5 years of ball. These are good points by Neil. These are good points. I mean, I get it, but when have we ever been worried about getting a guy from that continent that has not got a lot of basketball experience? When have we worried about this? With Siakam? Yeah, did we need to worry about that with him? No. Do we need to worry about this with Shamshay? Probably not in the long run. So I would just say, and if anybody's going to know whether a project like that is going to pan out over the long run, well, if Masai could see Siakam coming, well, he'll know whether or not Common's the right choice or not. Well, and once again, I don't know if he's going to do it or not. If they don't pick the kid from Duke, I'm not going to be upset because they'll know more than me, and it's proprietary, and they'll probably say, yeah, we can't get Malak. And it may be partly because of what Blackhawk's saying, that he's not on the timeline with the projects, but I don't think this is something that should scare them away, seriously, because I know the Raptors are really good at developing. I mean, it's Coach Darko. And, we can have stuff in the pipeline. In some ways, that's something I've always wanted the Raptors to do more. Often, this year we drafted a lot of these rookies to instantly help now, but Shamshay is a project, and he's in the pipeline. So I don't have a problem with having a couple centers in the pipeline. Seriously, this is a good thing to have. It's a good thing to have. But, Blackhawk does have some points here. And I'm glad that we're not all agreeing today. This has really been a good, lively draft conversation. G saying finding players like Yak is incredibly difficult. 7-footer with strength, blue collar, egoless, unselfish, does the dirty work, doesn't complain. They love him because he makes everyone's life easier. He very much values being on our team. In some ways, he's willing to work with us on our salary cap to take deals in the future to stay on our team. And he could probably make more money playing somewhere else, but he wants to be loyal to Masai and the Raptors. So there's a lot right there than I just said. And that's all true what I just said. Good to see G, the original Raptor Freak trivia champion, in the chat today. Good to see him. His name's on that trophy. That's right. His name's on that trophy. That's right. All right, we're going to keep going on what's going on here. I see a lot of different Raptor Freaks are here. People like UC. Let's see. Most saying W Stream, W Vibes. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Freak crew strong forever. Just keep helping Lex limit comments. And I am 3 minutes away from 2 hours. Wayne saying, well said, G. Jakob is special. Totally agree. High flying dunk for that fact. All right. Wayne wants to give G a dunk. I'll allow that. He's throwing it up for him. And that's a nice lob, just like Kelly to Zion Williamson. Is a little bit of a lob there. Yeah, you know what? Jakob is very much underappreciated by certain parts of the Raptors nation, but they're usually the less educated parts right there. I'm going to say that right now. Neil saying 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, blood sport 101. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Whether it's Jamal and Scotty, we don't want to do that with Common and Queen or Asa Newell or Fleming. We don't want any of this kind of stuff. None of this stuff. No. Enough violence in this world. We got to be peace warriors and try and fight for peaceful reform. But you know what? If revolution is going to happen, it's going to happen. And there is some interesting stuff going on in the States. There's some interesting stuff going on down there. They won't publicize it because the mainstream media is bought by the MAGAs at this point. But there is a lot of upheaval and a rising, and they will not tell you about it. They're not going to show it on TV because they don't want to encourage people to do it. And it's not even just happening in the States. The whole entire country of Germany is upset about what's going on in the States, and they're hitting the streets also and protesting. The people in France, all around the world, are watching what's happening with the United States. And well, a lot of people like world peace, and they don't like dictatorship, and they don't like what's developing in the United States. So we may be shocked. Another thing that some people have been worried about recently is the military and the possibilities with Canada. Well, this is something we got to remember. When the military takes their oath to serve in the military, their oath is to the Constitution. It is not to the president. And in the Constitution, it says their oath is to protect the United States from foreign and domestic threats. And in some ways, a lot of the military understand what's right and wrong in the Geneva Conventions and international law, and they will not follow
the leadership of the MAGA in certain ways when they know it is a war crime and it's unjust and not right. Some of them will, because they will be bootlicking Nazis like the people that followed Hitler back in the day. But a lot of them will not, and they will not allow certain things to happen. We'll have to see what the percentage is and how much people are willing to stand up against fascism within their own system. So that's one thing that makes me feel better, is that there are good men and women that serve the U.S. military, and they know better judgment than to do stupid ass shit just because a wannabe dictator with an orange face is trying to tell them what to do. So the resistance is going to come in some ways defying what they want them to do. And hopefully resistance comes from people in the military, people that are in judge positions. And this is why they're trying to get everybody out that's not agreeing with them. In some ways, this is totally a dictatorial takeover of the U.S. government, and they are firing everybody who's not aligning with their values and what they want to do. He wanted to have this power because in his first administration, he found a lot of roadblocks to be able to just run roughshod and do whatever he wanted to. So this is how they're strong-arming things. They're going in, they're trying to buy people out in the federal government that oversee stuff and stop people, and they're trying to stop people that will not go along with what they want to do and kick them out. Well, hopefully there's enough sane people that are going to say no, no, no. And there'll be enough people that are unemployed because of this that they're going to get in the streets and there's going to be a revolution. I really believe this is going to happen. It has to happen. This dude needs to be out of power ASAP is what I'm saying. Seriously, because it's not going to be healthy for anybody in the world and not for this continent. I'll tell you right now, it will not be. No, it won't. All right, let's keep going. UC's here. Good morning, Raptors gang. Pretty crazy it took this long for Andrew Wiggins to win against us. Yeah, I went over that. It's partly because Minnesota had a horrible record in Toronto, and he only got to come play here once a year, and that whole time they lost. And then the Golden State Warriors have lost pretty much every home game against the Raptors in Toronto since they lost the championship to us in 2019. That's actually true, guys. Whenever Golden State comes to Toronto, they drop the game against us. It's very interesting. In fact, on the Kensington Variety VIP Club episode recently, when the pandemic shuts things down, you'll see it on my show very soon. The first game we missed and we didn't get to play was a game against the Warriors when they canceled the season during the pandemic in the bubble year. And ever since then, the Warriors haven't been right against us in a lot of the games when they come back to Toronto, partly because they don't bring their whole team. And quite often, some of them will be sitting out. So Wiggins losing to us on the Timberwolves totally makes sense because they didn't beat us in Toronto for like ever. And then he didn't win on Golden State against us here either. So it totally makes sense how it happened. Blackhawk saying this team needs to have 4 centers. Yes. And that's why I'm saying that we don't get rid of guys. We just collect them. That's right. And thumbs up from G. Boss Takes saying early voting ended. Shamshay has to play the 4. Early voting is today. It's not over. You can early vote today. And you can early vote tomorrow. Just look it up in your precinct and go and do it. There's early voting right up until the day you can vote, and that's the 27th. So, yeah, you can vote today. You just got to find your polling place and go and do it. But, yeah, early voting is not over. You can go and do it still. That's not true. I went and did it yesterday. I know the polling place that I went to yesterday is open today, too. Now, I'm out in the boonies, and, it's easy for me to go in and vote. But everybody downtown, especially in Toronto, needs to freaking vote. Because they don't get enough say in what's going on. The people out here where I live have more say because they actually go and vote. There's so many people just running the grind, the hamster rat race down in the Toronto area that are just so busy working like 4 jobs just to survive. Carve that time out. I'm serious. Anybody downtown. And if you're a minority or you're somebody who doesn't feel like you're welcome to vote, you are. If you're a citizen, you need to go down there and vote, especially because in some ways people look at Toronto as a cash cow and they parasite off of it. Toronto is the economic driver of this province. I'm sorry. It's not the people out here where I live. Y'all are living off of the people downtown, and it's disgusting in some ways how you limit the political power of the masses that live in the big city of Toronto. So if you live in the city of Toronto, especially, you need to go vote, especially because they really, really, the percentage of people voting in Toronto is the worst. People all out here are voting like crazy. Everybody out here votes. But downtown, people just do not go to the polling places. And that's why I say, if you live downtown, you better fucking go vote right now. And it is open still. It is still open. I know it is, Boss Take. It may not be open. I don't know where you are, but it's open everywhere that I've looked.
And I know they're open right up until the day of the 27th. Early voting during the week. You can go anytime this week. And you might want to miss the big lines on the day of the election and go ahead and just get it done so you don't have to wait. Just walk in, do it, and get out of there. And you have peace of mind that you did your part in making a vote in the Ontario provincial election. And once again, I'll remind people, there's something I actually posted on Facebook that I want to read to you guys real quick right now. And this is really, really important about this election. And here it is real quick. Let me just read it to you guys, because this will tell you everything you need to know right now about this election. All right, this is what I said. A lot of people I've talked to about this provincial election have expressed feeling overwhelmed and not having enough time to be informed to make a decision how they vote. I want to say that was entirely intentional. Doug Ford called the snap election in a time where he predicted voters would be uninformed and scrambling and confused because of all the chaos with the orange asshole down south. Continuing, Doug Ford also called this election quickly to throw everyone off, so all the other parties are scrambling to find candidates to run against them. If I can't make this clear enough, he wants us to be confused and disorganized. He planned that. This snap election is a classic tactic of voter suppression, and you should be filled with rage about it because it's backhanded and cowardly way to undermine our democratic rights as citizens. And that's what I say about that right there. So Doug Ford tried to do this shit, a fast one, while we're all distracted to try and get a better majority for himself. Well, let's prove him wrong. And let's go down there and show him we don't appreciate his underhanded tactics and vote for a strategic person, whichever district you're in, which is better for either the orange or the red party. And you can find that out on website, strategic voting, which party is better for you to vote in your particular riding to help the fight against what I just talked about. So I'm going to say that right there. Boss Takes saying Shamshay has to play the 4. I like that. I do want him to play the 4. I think that he naturally fits that better, and we should have a center next to him. But he's going to be able to play the center also, especially if people want to go small. He may be a very good center for that. Yeah, Wayne's saying, I hear you about Orlando. I don't speculate on who's not here. I opine about who should go like McDaniels last year. Love our core like other guys. Love to see players grow and learn to be better. Yeah, I'm just being realistic. You know, in some ways, he's shown some flashes in certain ways, but I don't know if he's exactly a long-term project that sticks around. Who knows? We've seen that Jalen McDaniels is on the Wizards now, just so you know, Wayne. He got picked up in the last 2 days on a 10-day contract, and he is on the Wizards now. Well, that's where you are in your career. You must be doing something wrong. I'm going to say that right now. Boss Takes saying Common is NBA ready. He just needs to play 35 minutes a night. Conditioning will get him there. I like that. I like hearing that. Look at Bol finally getting baskets out. We'll see Bol today. We're going to see Bol today. I think it's funny when Scotty plays Bol because Bol is like a legend to him on the 2K. And when he used to play in that summer, we watched him. Bol was a player he always wanted to have on the court with him, and he would play Bol a lot. So it's kind of funny and weird and meta when Scotty takes a court to play against Manut's son. So it'll be fun today to see Bol out there, and we'll see how much he's improved. Trevor's saying, Wayne, the NBA owners make billions of dollars off the top. What the players are getting is penis. Why did it say that? Why did it say that, Trevor? I'm going to give you a dunk just for a really bad autocorrect here. Man, what the hell just happened here? Holy crap. He's trying to be serious here, but I can't take you seriously when you write that word into the statement there. So, yeah, Trevor, you can get a dunk for silliness. 36 points for you on the dunk charts with 12 dunks so far this year. All right. This isn't a Grady joke, is it? The Raptors want a younger team. That's why they let those guys go, and they're making more money. You know, in some ways, look, renewing the Raptors championship core with the bench mob as the new top core, in some ways, there's limitations to this. Part of it is the Raptors front office looks at the growth potential for players. And OG, Pascal, and Fred were really getting near the top of their peaks as growth for players. And in some ways, you're not getting the increases in development from them anymore when you start paying them $40 million a year. So that's what it is. In some ways, you got to cut the garden down for the season and replant a whole new crop, and you get the excellence in the development and the more potential of winning and cheap by having the younger players. And I know some people get mad at that. They'll say, well, they were so good and we should pay them. But remember, Fred's undersized, undrafted guard. and he's hit his potential to me. He may get savvier and get better with his head and playing certain ways as a vet. But for the most part, Fred is where he's going to get to the level of what he's going to get to at the height of what he's going to do. And that was an all-star as a Raptor. He may never be an all-star again for the rest of his career. So it's smart. It's smart business. These guys, you're going to start paying them a bunch of money. They get hurt, and they're not really giving you back as much in growth and paying off and developing going up. And that's why you got to start over and get a new crop of young guys that are going to grow in at lower contracts to high potential, and then that's how you win a championship like 2019. And we did that with those guys, and they grew up. Norman Powell, Fred, OG, and Pascal. And this is just smart management. I have no problem with this. I get it. Some people are saying the Raptors are cheap, and they should have invested in Siakam and kept him around here. In my heart, I love that idea, and I want that. But this is better management. Doing it the way they're doing it right now and saying a hard goodbye to him is a better management for the future. And that's it right there. That's it right there. I'm telling you right there. That's it. That's it. And Trevor's right. These guys are making so much money. The new deal with a TV deal with Amazon and NBC coming around is enriching the league like crazy. And the players are getting their just share. The money may seem obscene and crazily big, but this is what the NBA derives in revenue. And it's just how it is. And they got to get their share. So anybody gets mad at like contracts like Brandon just got and stuff like that. Well, this is just the NBA. It's not realistic to the real world and money senses. Just trust me on this. It's just not. You can't look at it this way. Kareem saying Wayne Strainer is what every chat needs. He's cool, calm, and remains level-headed. Not like most of us who fly off the tarmac. Sorry for the plane reference. All right, he's trying to make jokes. I think on Sundays, Kareem comes in. He did this last Sunday too. He did a whole routine. It's like, when's Kareem's set? His set is at 10 a.m. Sunday mornings. Come on into the Velvet Champagne Room, and you could hear this comedy stylings of Kareem Thomas, the butt dialer. Yeah, I think this is his set time in Vegas. 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning. He's coming in with the shots. I don't know if I'll give you one for this. I will give Wayne a dunk instead for your compliment towards him. You're right. I've always enjoyed Wayne's calm, cool, collected presence in this chat also. So, Wayne, you're going up to 21, your 7th dunk of the year. 21 points on the dunk charts. There you go. Most saying new episode of Open Gym tomorrow is just dropped. Oh, woo! In some ways, I'm more excited about that than Raptors Delight. A hip hop, hip hop. We're going to listen to how Sportsnet is going to change the history of the Raptors in a negative, toxic way. Okay, Raptors Delight. A hip hop, hip hop. Yeah, no. I'm all about Open Gym. Team Open Gym. Let's go, Bell. Yeah, I'm going for Bell on this one, not Rogers. Let's see. Trevor's saying billionaires do not pay taxes. You think they care about luxury tax? They would buy players if the NBA allowed them to. Yeah, I mean, this is a big problem in this world today. There's a parasitic floating class. The welfare queens are all billionaires. They're not women that are in the grocery line with a couple babies next to them. No, the myth of the welfare queen is people like Elon Musk, who does not pay a single damn cent on taxes, and meanwhile gets government subsidies in the billions. So he's the biggest welfare queen. Our tax-paying money goes to him, and he doesn't pay anything into it. And he literally gets $800 billion from the government for SpaceX and Tesla and all these made-up bullshit fucking contracts. It's disgusting. And that's the truth about welfare queens. There are people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and those guys. They're the welfare queens at the top, and they're the worst, because they take a whole bunch of government subsidies, our tax money, and they don't pay any tax money into it themselves. It's like they're stealing their money from us in a legalized way. And people don't understand that, Tom Duke. You're an idiot. So I wish y'all would listen to me. Seriously, the ones that don't understand what I'm saying. The billionaire class is the welfare queens. It's just the damn truth. Boss Takes saying, if we lose Flag and Malak, how you picking? I don't know. I like Fleming. I think Fleming is not a bad backup. Newell, those are the guys right around there. Queen, Newell, Fleming, Malak, somewhere around that 4 position. If it's not a 5, I want a 4, is what I'm saying. I don't want a guard. I don't want a point guard. I don't want Edgecombe. I don't want any of these little guys. I don't want Kasparis. I want a 4 or a 5, Bobby, in my side. That's what I want right there. That's right. Commons Trainer said he's better than Embiid. He probably is, because he probably going to be able to take care of his body better than him and not be a big dummy with bad conditioning and continually being hurt. So that's all you need to do to be better than Embiid. You need to be available. You need to be healthy, and you can be better than Embiid. Embiid is so overrated. And I love how Leo called him out with Sam Mitchell on the broadcast a couple weeks ago. He said, no, you can't say he's a great player. He's a talented player. You can't say he's a great player. Sorry, Sam. He had to correct him. Because obviously Leo has standards as a former NBA player and a basketball player for, competing and who you are. You say, yeah, this guy has all the talent in the world, but he is not a great player. And in some ways, we all know he didn't deserve MVP a couple years ago. No, what has he done? He never. Coach Joe is the same trainer as Shamshe. Okay, interesting. Coach Joe is the guy. Blackhawks saying Siakam was in 905. He wasn't ready when we got him, so we developed him on 905. Malak is the same boat. Newfound height can't make up for experience. That's right. Height is amazing. I'm telling you. Yeah. And Neil's got a little comment in there I totally agree with. I don't even want to read it because he's an idiot, that guy right there. All right, let's go through the tabs and make sure that I've covered everything that I want to do today. Actually, we'll do the classic card first. So let's get that out of the way real quick. We'll do about 2.5 hours today, looks like. Okay, who's that? Oh, yeah, I know who that is. I was like, this guy doesn't look familiar for a second, but he does. All right, the name is in the middle, so I got to cover it a weird way. This is a season ticket card. It's kind of weird. This should be pretty easy. So first person to write in the answer, speaking of big men in the league, gets the classic card points. This should be pretty easy. Y'all should know this one. This one should be pretty easy. Can you see it? It's pretty easy, guys. We got a lot of guys on our team right now that are from this guy's home state. And it seems like there's a history of that home state with the Raptors these days, especially with Chris Bosh. Of course, this is LaMarcus Aldridge of Portland and then San Antonio. Of course, he had his injury, had a career where it got kind of cut short because of different injuries. But yeah, he was a fantastic big man. One of the better big men that Portland got, but they didn't keep him around. But yeah, LaMarcus Aldridge is the answer for Isaac Campbell today. Stargate is just behind. That's an easy card, though. So I'm only going to give you 100 points, Isaac, unfortunately. But yeah, LaMarcus Aldridge is the classic card of the day. You know, I think that the Raptors are looking at the hotbed of Texas for basketball talent. And it's signified by guys like Walter and Shed, that these guys are both Texas guys. And, well, maybe we're going to look and see if there's any other Texas guys around in this draft. They may be getting a preferential treatment in some ways to what they're doing. Wayne saying the Raptors front office value proposition is great business to me. By that same logic, LeBron is a great player GM. He foresees his team with win timeline and then moves accordingly. Cavs, Miami, Cavaliers, and Lakers. Yeah, you know, LeBron is a ring chaser in some ways. In some ways, where he goes, he helps a ring possibly more himself because he's a really big part of that, whatever team he's on. Yeah, I don't know. In some ways, I get your comment, and I think it's fair. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Do I want to do a Reddit reaction real quick, guys? There's George St. Pierre at the practice yesterday with Jama, and Scotty looks scared. This is funny. There's the little graphic I was talking about. It's from The Simpsons. And there's two monkeys fighting with knives on a boat, and there's Mo Sislak and Sideshow Mel, and they're putting money up on Raptors fans, and they have the Sixers logo on one of the monkeys, and then they got the Nets logo on the other, and it's about the game yesterday. That's pretty funny. Raptors Reddit, you can be pretty funny sometimes. Here's a funny little joke. This is 6,971 days ago. The 2006 Raptors stopped Kobe Bryant from breaking the NBA's all-time scoring record set by Wilt Chamberlain. Of course, they're referring to the 81-point game. It's kind of stupid. It's so stupid. Anyway, that's right. All right, I'm not even going to go any further with Reddit. It's kind of silly in some of the parts. There's one with Ralph Wiggum that's kind of stupid. All right, let's go over the injuries and the refs, and we'll get out of here real quick. Once again, the Raptors are saying that Poeltl is questionable for today. Let me just see if Blake Murphy's got an update on Blue Skies real quick, that maybe we can see any kind of update. Happy birthday to Dr. J. It's his 75th birthday, just so y'all know. Let's see. Okay, Blake Murphy has some weird post that he posted an hour ago about how all the Suns were at Hooters eating wings, but I think this is not a real picture. Is that a real picture? No, that is actually from Kevin's Instagram. Has a story on it of him and Devin Booker wearing Hooters shirts and eating wings. I know that we have Hooters in downtown Toronto still. I believe we still do down there in the entertainment district. But yeah, what is this, man? These guys went to the Wings. They went to Hooters. Devin Booker's saying it on his Twitter, on his Instagram. I'm thinking Hooters tonight with the fellas. They're like, please don't go to Hooters. No, we're going to Hooters, man. We're at Hooters chilling. So I guess that's where the Suns wanted to go today, to Hooters. I guess that's weird, man. That is weird. Weird. Okay. Blake Murphy's saying also that he's going to be on the Raptors Delight episode, this one today. He's actually going to be appearing in it, is what he's saying. That's an update from him. So no update on the injuries. Jakob is questionable. Ulrich is out. Brandon is out. PJ Tucker, he ain't even on the team. Come on now. I will speculate the starting lineup tonight against the Suns. Maybe Bobo back in the lineup, but maybe it's Rob starting at center. And, of course, the regular starters, otherwise, a Barbecue Dick with Rob or Bobo. We'll have to see which one. I think Orlando may have done good enough to get the starting spot for a little while right now. And maybe Darko likes the idea of energy off the bench with Jonathan Mobo right now. So we'll see. Phoenix Suns, let's see if they changed their injuries at all in the last little while. It looks like, yes, they may have. Cody Martin is still out. He's the only one who's out. He has a sports hernia is his issue. The three refs for tonight's game, the crew chief is Tyler Ford. He favors the Raptors. Musa Dagger is the second ref. He favors the Suns. And then Matt Callio, the Canadian ref, is the third ref tonight, and he favors the Raptors. So we got two of the refs on our side statistically in the history of the games and stuff. So Callio, Tyler Ford's a great crew chief. I'm very happy with our refs tonight. They should be pretty good. Let's see. There is a birthday today. It's 75th birthday of Dr. J, and that's it. No Raptor birthday. That's it. I'm pretty much said what I wanted to say on the stream today at this point. I appreciate everybody joining me today on the Raptor Freak channel. Let's see if there's any more fill-ins here. Let's see. Stargate saying, yesterday I knew the Eddie Johnson card, but I came out of the chat by that time. I did a watch back, and it was screaming the name when people weren't answering. I know, man. That was yours for the taking, Stargate. Yeah, Fast Eddie Johnson was it was a little difficult for somebody to get him at first. And I thought the Suns announcer clue was enough to make it happen, but it didn't. It's weird. Trevor's saying LeBron said his son don't need to play basketball. Not like he needs the money. He's just doing something that he loves. That's something that Danny Green said also in that interview that Monique posted the other day. The one with Warren Ward, which was really more about life and career and stuff like that. It wasn't really about basketball as much. I thought that the interview was okay, but it was pretty boring to me in some ways. But Danny said that about Bronny. He said, Bronny doesn't need to be playing right now. He could just live his life and just be LeBron's son and be rich and do whatever he wants. He's working really hard to try and make the league, is what something that Danny Green said. So LeBron say the same thing. Cool Cat saying Hooters is filing for bankruptcy. Yeah, that's what I've heard. And Wayne saying, thanks, Kareem. I'm wearing the apron now in the kitchen. That's right. That's the kind of apron you want in your life. You don't want the second apron in your life because of spending and all the credit cards are maxed out. No, you don't want that. You don't want that. Isaac got me on blast. And Trevor's saying classic card. Well, we did it. I don't know where you went. It was LaMarcus Aldridge. And Isaac got it. Good job, Isaac Campbell. Original Raptors freak. My guy, Isaac. Scotty Barnes, Twitch family, 2022. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching tonight. Seriously, if you want to beat the Suns, play together as a team. Play with energy. Come out there and take it to them. And Scotty, I gave you that challenge earlier. Can you get 50 points against the Suns on a Sunday, just like Vince Carter did 25 years ago? I would love that. I love that so much. In some ways, it would be like an homage to Air Canada Carter on this 30th anniversary of the Raptors being around. It would be like a tribute to him. Can you do that that's so selfless. You're such a selfless person. Why don't you go and do a tribute for Vince today and drop 50 on them and honor him? If you don't do it, maybe ask RJ to do it. If you don't want to do it, set up RJ to do it. Y'all set it up before and say, RJ, go get 50 tonight against the Suns, just like Vince did a long time ago, and it'll be fun and it'll be special. It'll harken back. It's a great memory to have. Let's do it. Yeah, you missed the classic card. It was here. Isaac got it. LaMarcus Aldridge. That's right. All right, y'all. Let's go, Raptors. Let's just out hustle them. They'll get lazy. Seriously. In some ways, they're not very good defensively. So we should be able to get in there and mess them up. And in some ways, we just got to play really hard defense on their key guys. Beal, make sure we're not letting him shoot threes along with Booker, and really track down Kevin Durant. I'm hoping to see Scotty guarding Kevin most of the game. And it will be very interesting to see if Scotty can shut down KD a bit today. So, yeah, let's go Raptors. We're not in Tank Nation. We want to win today. And we may not, and that may make the Tank Nation happy, and we'll be okay too. But we want to win. Raptors Freaks are officially not in Tank Nation, and we are with Scotty and trying to strive to get to the play-in. It may not be realistic. It may not happen. It may be we stay exactly where we are in the standings, neither in the play-in or in the bottom 5. It doesn't matter. Whatever we do, we're going to win either way. And that's what we all have to remember as Raptors Nation right now. There's no reason to be in consternation. We do not have the issues that the Blue Jays franchise has right now, thank God. In some ways, the Leafs, whatever there's going on with them, I don't know what's going on with them. We don't have those issues. We have this issue, and that's a future so bright, we got to wear shades. So, y'all, Raptorize your day. Let's get out there. And if you're going to the game today, get loud. Don't be a regular Sunday afternoon family crowd that sits there. Children, if you're going to the game, get loud. Be loud and tell your parents to get loud with you. Yeah, it's a perfect place for y'all to get loud. Your parents are always telling you, be quiet. We're in public. No, not here. Y'all need to come correct just like you do for a school game for the 905. I want to hear that kind of level of energy from the crowd today because y'all didn't do a good job on Friday. We need a better crowd today to get behind our team. And you know what? If we could have the whole crowd just mimic the Raptor from that one game with Devin Booker, that'd be perfect. Well, when we do that, why don't y'all just put your little mini Raptor in yourself and come down there and be a shit disturber for Devin Booker at the free throw line and them on defense in every kind of ways. Just start yelling defense. And hopefully we can start winning and beat the Phoenix Suns today. Let's go. Yes. Let's go to the game. Let's beat the Suns, baby. Get 50, Scott. That's what I want to see. Get 50. Get 50, Scott. Yes. If you don't do it, RJ, man.